contractor partners to ensure your roof stays watertight and under warranty. Eagle offers complimentary roof inspection to help avoid a costly roof replacement. Call Eagle Rivet Roof Service today, 860-953-1231, or visit the rivet.com.
Holla, holla, son.
Rivet is a proud sponsor of
Barely hear you.
Yeah.
Are you ready to smell
I
better
heard that
naked?
earlier.
I'm
How's
Dr.
that now?
Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's
A little better.
Okay.
control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get 15% off your first purchase with code 500, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME deodorant.com, code 500 for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME deodorant.com, code 500 to save 15% today.
Radio
1 minute.
challenge of television with new kinds of programming to show it could do things TV couldn't. One new format was the call-in talk show. While technically call-in shows were possible long before the 50s, radio was carefully scripted, removing any chance of spontaneous listener-announcer interaction. Out of necessity, radio was becoming more relaxed, and in August of 1954, WTIC started to air The Miller Party Line, hosted by Ross Miller and his wife Betty. They talked with people from all walks of life, from sports to entertainment. With this show, WTIC started a format that became the mainstay of AM radio. In 1949, WTIC launched 2 more call-in shows, Mike Line, a radio roundtable where listeners responded to other listeners' questions and comments, and What's Your Opinion, the first issue-oriented call-in show. Talk radio as we know it started right here on WTIC. Sandy Terenzi and the Livian team at Keller Williams is proud to
In 10.
Got
WTIC
it.
history. Our real estate team offers extensive services, support, and expertise. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call us at 860-855-SOLD.
This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah. What's going on, all you scallywags out there? And of course, you faithful listeners of WTIC. It is Reese on the radio. News Talk 1080 WTIC, filling in for Todd Feinberg. My final day today until I get back here on Friday. I'll be filling in for Tom Shattuck. I've been filling in for him for a while. But everybody's on vacation at the same time, so I couldn't do both. I could have. I'm telling you, I could have. But I didn't. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-WTIC. And don't forget, you can join us in the chat room by going to ReeseOnTheRadio.com, where this is being broadcast live, so you can see me, or at least, hang out with us. Michael B says that Roland spit an Eminem lyric at me on Friday, and I missed it. I did not hear it. I'll ask him about that. Anyway, we got plenty of news and plenty of views to get into today. I am missing the Corinne Jean-Pierre press conference, which I hear is brutal. Just got a text from Adam who says the Corinne Jean-Pierre press conference is brutal. White House press is pushing back hard on the bobbing and weaving on Biden's mystery Maryland visits. Now, I'm assuming he said, MD doctor visits. Mystery doctor visits is what he must mean. I don't think he means Maryland, MD Maryland. I think he means MD doctor visits. Clarify that for me, Adam, if you could, if you're meaning doctors or, medical doctor visits. So it's a likelihood that, yes, he's been visiting doctors. We've got now reports that a Parkinson's doctor has shown up to the White House several times over the past 2 years. We know a lot of stuff about this, but Joe Biden plans to press on. We'll break all of that down for you, and we'll take your phone calls as well, 860-522-WTIC. We'll take those phone calls. What do you think's going to happen? I have a theory. Indulge me. back in the day, you've probably gone to summer camp, sleepaway camp. Sleepaway in particular. You guys will remember it if you did sleepaway camp. I did one sleepaway camp as a kid when I was in foster care. And it was great. It was fun. There was one time in summer camp that I went to live with a family out in, what was it called? Boontown, New York. Small little town. It's the first time I ate deer. And, but sleepaway camp, you know, sort of like in Meatballs. Bill Murray, Chris Makepeace. Watch that film. It's fun. You might remember that if a kid was screwing up, got everybody in trouble, or he was just being bullied, they used to give him a blanket party back in the day. You remember that? Do you remember the blanket party? Who remembers that? They throw the blanket over you so you couldn't see who was beating you. And everybody got their licks in, you know, because of course it was a way, it was sort of like for people to get away with beating you so they couldn't know it was you. Joe Biden has got a lot of people giving him a blanket party right now. You notice that everyone's running around talking about, they won't say officially, they won't come out in public saying that he needs to step down. This is a political blanket party. Some people are telling you who they are. Ralph Nader, Mark Warner. Some people are coming right out. Other people don't even want any part of this. So Biden's getting his legs, and he's telling everybody, hey, you want to challenge me? Meet me at the convention, son. You want to challenge me? Take me to the mat. Okay, fine. That's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have any other route for the Democrats? Somebody tell me otherwise. He's not leaving. He's not in any way going to give up the goods unless they force him out. Who's going to pull the trigger? Because remember, this is what happens. If somebody suggests the 25th Amendment, if someone suggests putting their political weight behind another primary candidate, or if delegates decide that they want to, whoever is the front man on that has created political enemies forever. They are never going to salvage you. Someone has got to stick their neck out. Because according to what I'm hearing as far as polls are concerned, the actual voter doesn't want Joe Biden to step down, and it's the political elites and, elected officials who wish for him to step down overwhelmingly, going against the will of the people. At least that's what the reports say. Who knows? Who knows? But if that were true, let's take that at face value. Let's say that Americans have decided Joe Biden, in his capacity, the capacity that says he has to be directed around by someone holding his hand, walk here, podium right, stare here, answer this question, speak to this person, call on them, turn left, walk off stage, avoid stairs. You know it's happening. We know that. Axios just reported that this weekend. So the American people are saying, nah, you know what? That's not a bridge too far for us. Not a deal breaker. We still want him. And imagine you're the guy that's spearheading a campaign to oust him at the convention. What are you going to do with your political? You're donezo. You're donezo. Michael B. says, don't crop dust the Pope. They're going to have to put that on the next cue card. This is a political nightmare for whomever it is now. Some people are testing the water. You notice they're very timid about all of this. They won't come out and say it publicly. They'll say it through their spokesperson. They're anonymously putting it in reports in the New York Times, the Washington Post, and other places. Joe Biden is getting angrier and angrier about it. He's shouting on Morning Joke. They didn't think I could beat them before. Nobody believed me before I could beat them. I can beat them now. Okay, Joe, calm down. Just calm down. Now, no one is supposed to be paying attention to this because when your enemy, as they say, political enemy, is drowning, you ignore it. But this is worth watching and talking about. What are they going to do? What could they possibly do? Everyone is going to suffer at the hands of Joe Biden. They either endorse him or they have to push back against him and then go on with their own political campaigns. They are a fractured party that told us 3 weeks ago that he was as sharp as a tack. Last week telling us that he's got to step down. And now we have people like Calvin Meeks who are coming forward saying we need to stop talking about this one debate and get behind the president. So they're backwards and they're forwards and they're forwards and they're backwards. And their party, as it were, doesn't know what to do with itself. Can we support him? Can we put him in charge for another 4 years? Can we elect him to be in charge for another 4 years? And worse off, is Kamala the right fill? Should the president not be able to fulfill his duties as president of the United States? And that answer is absolutely not. They have no faith in Karine Jean-Pierre. The New York Post wrote an article that called her the DEI candidate, and people are upset about that. And I got to give it to you. Black Lives Matter 860. Y'all are real mad at that. Black Lives Matter 860 said that DEI is the new N-word. There is no new N-word. The N-word is the N-word. Always will be. There will never be any replacement. What DEI is your excuse for hiring people based upon the color of their skin. That's all that is. You're trying to call it the N-word because if you call it the new N-word, then people can't say it anymore. We get it. Try to put the poison pill in there so that people, when they say it, it's like, oh, you're being a racist because it's the new N-word. No, it isn't. Everybody out there, white folks especially, look them right in the face and say it. You're a DEI hire, aren't you? Look him right in the face. Say, hey, you got that job because of DEI, didn't you? You're not qualified. You got that job because it's the least most interesting part of you. Because you're black. Say it right to their face. And if they get offended, too bad. Tell them to prove to you that they've earned it. You're in a really, really horrible place right now, libs. And no place like Connecticut. Because I have to, as all of us will, we're going to watch Connecticut vote for Joe Biden. And if not, we're going to watch them vote for Kamala Harris. They're not going the opposite route. Sure, the number will be slim, but this state's going for the Democrat, no matter what. You know it. We all know it. So if Democrats are wondering, what's all of this for in Connecticut? If you're wondering, it's like, what's all this for? What are we mocking you guys for? It's simple. We want you to prove what we've always thought. That it's never about the merits. It's never about who has the right policies for the American people. That the people who vote in this state vote for one reason and one reason alone, and that's because of the letter behind someone's name. And you don't care who it affects.
Gotta take a break.
You don't care who it affects. You never will care who it affects. That's just the way it is. We'll take a break because I was just told we have to. Is everything okay? We'll come back. It's Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I'm elder law attorney Haley Allaire. Our greatest reward is happy clients.
Yeah, I gotta get these commercials in.
Oh, okay.
For our help.
Hi, I'm Mark, and my family's from Bristol. Allaire Elder Law met my #1 goal when I decided to work with them, to make sure my parents and their assets were protected legally so they can enjoy the rest of their time together and not worry about becoming one of the Title 19 horror stories. And our family cannot thank them enough.
Find out more at AllaireElderLaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
Did you know you can stream Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app? Just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio to hear the voices you trust. Brian Kilmeade.
Why are we so scared of Iran thinking they were at war with them?
Guy Benson.
Get the bleep out of here. It's disgusting.
Jimmy Fallon.
Then this administration rolled into town with a checkbook.
Are all on the free Odyssey app. From the news and talk to keep you informed and up to date during election season. Listen to Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. With zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey, it's Tom Chaddock.
1 minute.
Learned
Thank
from
you.
last July 4th and this July 4th, since Awaken 180 Weight Loss changed my life, it's that I lose nothing that makes a great summer celebration so enjoyable. But I do gain some things. I mean, I'm still eating hot dogs, burgers, sausages, all the good stuff, and enjoying a cocktail or two with my friends. I'm just doing it using the recipes and foods recommended by my Awaken 180 coach. All foods available at my local grocery store. Easy peasy. Oh yeah, all while not gaining my usual summer weight. But you know what I have gained since my weight loss? Swimming and boating with the kids, crazy long walks with no back pain. That's a new thing. I usually walk 10 miles at least once or twice a week. I've also gained a much higher level of energy. I needed that over the long weekend, especially with 5 kids. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Lose weight and I guess gain a new life. I know I did. Call them at 844
Here we go.
1-800.
Got it.
844-346-1800 or get them online at awaken180weightloss.com.
This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Best hip-hop beat in the world. Oh, wait there for Gangstar. Let's get to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. I'm going to go in a little different pattern here. Let's go to Ken in Newington first. Ken, you're on with Reese on the radio one.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Real quick, 'cause you're probably going to be hitting the news pretty soon.
Yes.
A few minutes. Number one, with everything that's happening, the sucky economy over the last 3 to going on 4 years now.
Indeed.
Number one. Number two, the fact that people are living on their credit cards. Number two. Number three, because of the high inflation and so forth. In the job market, there's no economic growth. We're getting back to where we were in November, December of 2020. That's all we're doing. It took us 4 years almost to get there.
Yeah.
But yet, Trump is only a few points ahead in the polls.
I know. You know what? Isn't that laughable?
No, it isn't. It's because it's his own fault.
You think so?
Okay? What do you mean, do I think so?
Come on. I'm hearing you.
A lot of people hate him, okay? Number one.
Okay.
It's 50-50, like him or hate him, okay?
Right.
So it all depends what the feelings are the day of the election. You look at this programs like this, yours and so forth. Nothing wrong with them. But the fact is, the listening audience are going to vote Trump anyways.
But wait a minute. Listen to this, Ken. Hear me out on this, because I really do. I hear exactly what you're saying.
But last thing, I'll let you go.
Okay, go ahead.
If Haley, who I don't like, but I would support if I had to, who has no substance as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
But I'm saying if she was the nominee right now, with somebody from the Midwest, like from Ohio or the Midwest and Wisconsin or so forth, as her VP, she'd be up by 15, 20 points.
I don't think so. And let me tell you why.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
No.
People liked her.
I got to tell you, I know they liked her, but listen, people saw through that in this last cycle. She's never gonna run for a higher office.
Think of this.
Yes.
A lot of people don't like Biden either.
No, I understand that. That's why I want to make this point to you, Ken.
More so, they don't like Trump.
Ken, let me make this point to you. That's why.
In a situation where they're looking for somebody they like, and that's
Ken, let me make this point to you. That's the reason why I'm trying to get you off that ledge. Listen to me. This is
I'm not on the ledge. You're the one
but
on the ledge.
I'll tell you on the ledge. Listen, I'll tell you why you're on the ledge. Listen, you keep making these proclamations about Donald Trump and where he is as far as the electorate and how people feel about him on the polls. Don't believe anything that you're hearing on these polls. And I said this.
Talk to my friends out
Ken,
there
here's the deal.
Don't like
I wouldn't trust you. Listen, I wouldn't trust your friends, okay, if I had to. And let me tell you why. When people are running around here talking about they just can't stand Donald Trump and they hate him or they don't like him, ask them bottom line. Forget all the personality nonsense, because people keep telling me about his personality. And I go, look, you're not electing the guy who's going to be your neighbor next door, or whether or not you got a buddy in the PTA. You're voting for somebody who's going to inject policy that's going to affect your lives. Taxes, about whether or not we're going to make gas prices lower, whether or not inflation is going to go down. Are you really, really concerned about mean tweets? Or are you concerned about whether or not you can pay the bills on time, you can feed your family, and whether or not your salary is going to go up? And they're going to say, bottom line, of course those things matter to me, but, and they're telling you, truth be told, when the chips come down and they have to go to that election site, to that polling place, they're going to vote for Donald Trump, and they're never going to tell a soul. They will keep that to themselves because they think they're morally superior than the rest of us, but they're not going to vote against their best principles. They know that Donald Trump is going to get them back to the place that he was when he was elected before. Trust me. Again, a guy got 63 million votes in 2016 and then got another 12 million in the next election. Trust me when I tell you that number's still going up. As we speak, that number's going up. We got to take a break, but we'll be back in a minute. We'll take the rest of your calls and those of you who are on hold when we return. It's Reese on Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Hi, I'm Brian Kilmeade. I am so excited to be on WTIC right here in Hartford, Connecticut. I'll be bringing all the breaking news with perspective.
Now I'm back in the
idea
groove.
What's happening, not only the election, but beyond, the things that matter to you on a daily basis. I promise to bring you the best guests, the most insight, and the most prepared. Right, show up Fox and Friends. I come up to do the Brian Kilmeade Show here on Fox News. Make sure you join me on WTIC. Hello, Connecticut. I hope I never have to say goodbye.
LatinoFestUSA.com presenting the 9th annual Hartford Latino Fest, Saturday, July 20th from 12 noon to 7 p.m. It's free admission, open to the public at Duncan Park, 1214 Main Street, right in downtown Hartford. Latin food and drink courts, service providers, job opportunities, local artists, DJs, dance schools, live bands, and our headliner, Dominic Marte and his Bachata Band. The 9th annual Hartford Latino Fest 2024.
Hold on, wait a second.
Eight times, or at least once, in regards to the president specifically.
Hold on a second.
You should be able to answer by this point.
Wait, no. No, wait a minute. Ed, please. A little respect here, please. So every year, around the president's physical examination, he sees a neurologist. That's 3 times, right? So I am telling you that he has seen a neurologist 3 times while he has been in this presidency. That's what I'm saying. I am telling you that he has seen them.
I want to find out who that was.
Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC, News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com. And now, a WTIC news update.
92 degrees in Hartford at 3:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Heat advisory in effect, high in the mid-90s, low around 70 tonight. Governor Lamont activates the state's extreme hot weather protocol through Wednesday afternoon. You can get cooling center info by dialing 211. Temperature records are falling nationwide. 4 heat-related deaths now reported in the area of Portland, Oregon, where it will go up to about 100 today. Las Vegas checked in at 120 yesterday, a record in the extreme heat being felt up and down the west. It's all contributing to California wildfires.
Just outside Santa Barbara, the lake fire has more than quadrupled in size since Friday and has now charred more than 18,000 acres with little containment. It's one of at least 21 fires burning in California alone, and it's prompted evacuations, along with threatening homes near Michael Jackson's former home, Neverland Ranch.
CBS's Carter Evans. 2 million power outages in Texas, where Beryl made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane this morning. It's now a tropical storm. At least 2 people are dead. A lot more rainfall to come, according to the Weather Channel's Jim Cantor.
It's going to continue to move north and east. Thank goodness accelerate a little bit, but it's still going to produce some very heavy rain as it pulls onto the north.
President Biden says again he's not leaving the race. He sent a letter to members of Congress to that effect.
Basically laying out why he is staying in the race. He said that he won the primaries, that almost no one even dared to run against him. And he said, quote, I have no doubt that I and we can beat Donald Trump. I wouldn't be running again if I didn't absolutely believe that I was the best person to beat Trump.
CBS's Nancy Cordes reporting Biden also called into MSNBC this morning to reaffirm the same.
I'm not going to explain any more about what I should or shouldn't do. I am running.
The AP reports Connecticut Congressman Jim Himes has privately said Biden should step aside. Spokesperson doesn't deny that, but says Himes has not made any public statements on the issue. The AP also reports Republican National Committee adopting a policy document that does not include a national abortion ban. That's at the request of nominee Donald Trump and comes despite wide-ranging calls in the GOP in favor of the federal ban. A big raise as expected for the UConn men's basketball coach. The new contract for Dan Hurley, 6 years, $50 million. Roughly 20 complaints about a shipping job scam under investigation in Connecticut. The state's chapter of the Better Business Bureau warning about a job posting that appeared online in East Windsor for a parcel enthusiast position. The fake job requires people to repackage items that are ultimately used for sale in the black market. Agency spokesperson Kristen Johnson says the payout of $4,800 for the first month never comes.
At the end of the month, they have this expectation that they're going to make so much more money, and then they don't necessarily have money to put food on the table or to pay their rent because they were working for free.
Officials in East Windsor say the address used to register the LLC doesn't exist. On Wall Street, the Dow down 38 points, S&P dropping 2 points, the NASDAQ is plus 13. And the forecast.
Mostly sunny, hot, and fairly humid out there this afternoon. Not much in the way of wind. Highs mostly in the low 90s with a heat advisory in effect. Muggy tonight.
Is anyone in the White House hiding information about the president?
And even more humid Tuesday. The chance for a shower or thunderstorm, high near 90. Muggy Tuesday night, partly to mostly cloudy with lows in the upper 60s and low 70s. Wednesday looks partly to mostly cloudy with some rain and possible thunder developing, especially during the second half of the day. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday look unsettled at times with some showers around, the chance for a heavy downpour or thunderstorm, and highs in the 80s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
92 in Hartford. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News.
At Batteries Plus, we know off is not an option. Off is an RV that won't travel or a boat that doesn't start. It's summertime. You need to be on vacation, on the water, on the road. Batteries Plus has batteries for your car, boat, motorcycle, and more. Plus portable power solutions, phone repair, and key remote services you can rely on. Summer's here. Power on. Batteries Plus. Visit one of over 700 locations today.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Eric Miner from Miners Incorporated in Canton, Connecticut.
Eric used to have an in-house IT staff, but not anymore.
Certainly the difference between when we did it ourselves and having Tab do it now is that they certainly know more about what they're doing than we ever did.
Not only does Eric get IT expertise, Tab Computer Systems doesn't tie him or his company's funds to a long-term contract.
Tab has been good at helping us to do what we do well and what we need to do well.
Which is sell building supplies and lumber. With Tab's monthly service plan, Eric's company has its own IT department that has to earn his business each month.
I would not hesitate at all to recommend Tab Computer Systems to assist any small business out there.
No long-term contracts. Just another reason to call Tab today. 1-888-TAB-4-HELP. 1-888-TAB-4-HELP. Or visit tabinc.com. Technology's advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.
Intimacy. Those special moments when we're together and deeply connected to the one we love. Truly, there are a few times in life that are as wonderful as these. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and it is the restoration of intimacy that makes me most proud of the work we do in treating erectile dysfunction. ED is an intimacy destroyer. Research shows that men can draw apart from their partners when ED affects their sex life. The condition causes stress, anxiety, and depression. Even worse, a man's partner can blame themselves when ED becomes a problem. For us at Northeast Men's Health, this is unacceptable because ED is simply a medical condition like any other, and we have many treatment options and treatment combinations that can stop ED in its tracks. In fact, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. So call us and get back those intimate moments. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Today we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on
in 10.
To digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
It is your girl, Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, okay, I listen to Reese on the radio.
And we're back. Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC, filling in for Todd Feinberg. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
Hold on, wait a second.
Wait.
Times, or at least once, in regards
I
to
just-
the president
wait.
specifically.
Hold on a second.
You should be able to answer by this point.
Wait, no. No, wait a minute. Ed, please. A little respect here, please. So every year, around the president's physical examination, he sees a neurologist. That's 3 times, right? So I am telling you that he has seen a neurologist 3 times while he has been in this presidency. That's what I'm saying. I am telling you that he has seen them 3 times. That is what I'm sharing with you, right? So every time he has a physical, he has had to see a neurologist. So that is answering that question. No, it is. It is. You're asking me. I also said to you, Ed, I also said to you, for security reasons, we cannot share names. We cannot share names. We have to.
Others he would have met with.
We
but you
cannot
can share names in regards to if someone came here in regards
we
to the
cannot
president.
share. We cannot share names of specialists broadly, from a dermatologist to a neurologist.
And that's Karine Jean-Pierre. What they're fighting about is this reports that are saying that a Parkinson's doctor, a renowned Parkinson's expert, has visited the White House so many times in recent months. That's the debate here. Corinne is trying to dodge this, but she can't. She is absolutely inept at her job. She the worst, and they do this to her, throw her out there and make her look like a clown. Hair notwithstanding, but she is made to look silly often on that stage, at that podium. She will go down in history as the most awful representative of the President of the United States, of any President of the United States in history. She will be infamous, without a doubt. Back to the phones we go. Let's go to George in St. Louis real quick. Hey, George, you're on with Reese on the radio.
Hi, Reese. Here's what went down. I think this is time for a review.
Yeah.
In 2020, Joe Biden conducted his whole campaign from his basement. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what the Democrat Party did is they ran a corpse for president of the United States, and the corpse won. The corpse won, and if you remember, also at the same time, a year later, the media, left-wing media, namely CBS, NBC, CNN, for one, for some, they said the Hunter laptop did not exist.
Right.
Remember that?
Yep.
The laptop had 22 shell companies, including Burisma, where James Biden and Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were taking a cut of the bribery money. Remember that?
Irrefutable at this point.
Yeah, so anyway, the country, because it was run by a corpse, the economy went downhill, energy went downhill, education. They brought in 12 million illegal aliens to vote in our elections. Remember, everybody ought to know about that.
I was going to go with you on the corpse part. I was going to say, while the corpse was running for president, in a lot of states, it turns out some corpse were voting for him too.
Anyway, for the last 3.5 years, unelected, by the way, Obama has been running the country.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter Biden's been running the country. Jill Biden's been running the country in absentia of Joe Biden. Everybody ought to remember that as well. So now the corpse is starting to stink, right?
Yeah.
So you can't
really.
Yeah, everybody knows what the media did and covered up, and everybody knows that the corpse cannot run the country. So now the word is out, and you asked at the beginning of your show what should be done now.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you bury the corpse.
So you agree with my analogy that the Democrats should, in essence, have a blanket party for Joe Biden to get him out of the race.
So, Reese, secondly, you got to bury the media that covered up all this.
Hey,
that's been lying.
listen to me. After the last 3 years they had, which regards to, not even the last 3 years, I could go to the last 7 years, 8 years, from what they've had so far as a track record, they don't deserve an audience at all. And I think they're going to reap that at the end of the day anyway. George, let me move on. I appreciate you, buddy. Let's go to Rick in Cheshire. Hello, Rick. You on with Reese on the radio?
Hey, Reese, I'd like to make an observation. So, for the most part, the hatred for Donald Trump has been spoon-fed to them by the left-wing media through lies. Charlottesville, Russia, J6, impeachment, sham trials. He's a fascist dictator. Identically, all of the love for Joe Biden has been foundationally propped up by the media.
AstroTurf. Indeed.
Lunch Pail Joe, Scranton Joe, Loving Family Man, the adult in the room. Yet, the foundation of Joe Biden, ironically, is crumbling before Donald Trump. And when Donald Trump leans in to the anti-establishment, anti-media side of it, saying, I'm standing up to all of these lies, he grows stronger within his base. The longer, and you'll see this, the longer that Joe Biden, so if Joe goes that way and saying that if he's starting to get attacked on his side and tries to lean in, you will see the Democrats obviously already now, but the voters cutting bait with him.
Yeah.
The Republicans tried to cut bait with Trump, and the reason they couldn't was because of what?
The effectiveness of his leadership.
Yes, and his base and his growing popularity
That's
within
correct.
the country.
That's true.
So Joe's not stepping away, in my opinion. He's not going to willingly step down. If it has to go all the way to the convention and they use the superdelegates to get rid of him, I believe that to be the only way.
Do you believe, Rick, do you believe what I believe? Do you believe that it's going to be political suicide if they have a brokered convention? Do you think that's going to be a political suicide for anyone who's like, whoever takes the charge of that at the convention, that they will be considered a pariah thereafter, even if they get rid of Joe Biden?
Well, you're saying, like, yes, within the Democrat Party?
Yes.
But the Democrat voter is very different from, in my mind,
Very
the
true.
Democrat Party.
Very true.
The Democrat voter is very much led by their nose.
Right.
And it's so hard to have a broad conversation with someone who is a Democrat voter because I don't think that they think too far past like we were talking about that with them. I'm not sure they would even understand what we were speaking of.
Right. Yeah. You know what? What can I, if I can, let me just play this one clip for you. And I think it's the best one. Joy Reid, I think Joy Reid in this clip captures exactly what we're talking about as far as the average Democrat voter.
Y'all just tell me who the nominee is going to be. Let me know when you guys are finished fighting amongst yourselves who I got to vote for in November to keep Hitler out the White House. That's all I want to know.
You know what I mean?
That's it. That's exactly it. And that is so insulting. That should insult every Democrat voter on the planet.
Exactly.
I mean, it's basically that's it. It's so insulting to hear someone say that. It should be.
Yeah.
I mean, the Democrats, even if the media tries to defend what they've done for the past 3.5 years, just on the fact of hiding the cognitive ability, not even policy. Let's just talk about its physical health.
Yeah.
They will just say we needed to do that to preserve democracy and keep a fascist dictator from the White House.
That's it.
You're like, see, yeah, that's what we needed to do.
Yep.
And that's how unbelievably limited they are in their scope of thinking.
It's so right. Thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate you. Let's go to James in Windsor. Hello, James. You're on with Reese Radio on the Todd Feinberg Show.
James gone.
Oh, then let's go to Rudy in Florida. Hello, Rudy.
All right. I told you I'd call back in on that.
I know.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I am not voting for Trump.
No.
I will write DeSantis in. I will vote for RFK Jr. Trump can only do so much for this country, and we need so much done.
Right.
The sooner this government collapses and we can rebuild this country, the better. And I don't want to put a Band-Aid on it for 2 years, and then he's a lame duck for 2 years.
Right.
And then we go right back to all this garbage. I want the government to collapse, the economy, the Federal Reserve. It's going to hurt. It's coming no matter what, because our debt is so piled up and our military is so weak. So I'd rather have it happen now while I'm still like, you and I are like, me and Tom were in high school together. One of you was a freshman, one was a sophomore, one of us was a junior.
Right.
But I'd rather have 20 years to try to recover and have some kind of life than have this stretch out another 10 years and become Europe with.
But we would be, listen, do you understand the dystopian future that Democrats have been writing about forever? If we have that collapse, that's coming. That's for real. Because these young people who are going to be more at risk than any other young group in our history, they are not as resilient as we were when we were kids. They're just not.
We're more resilient right now. I'd rather have you, me, and Tom, and despite Tim from Hamden with his AR-15 machine guns, they're not military weapons. I'd rather have the three of us with an M4 or AK-47 in a tree line trying to defend, Salem, Massachusetts from the Chinese invading than to trust some 20-year-old.
That's my point. That's my point. Yeah. Listen, if you get the collapse you want, we're going to have a generation.
I'm going to be on a scooter shopping at Publix, and I won't be able to climb up in a tree. So here's the deal. And
okay,
it's going to hit you personally, and this is
directed
at all liberals that are veterans. I know you married one, but I'm not directing this at your wife.
Oh, okay.
But she's in that group.
Oh, actually, not anymore.
Well, she was.
Well, yeah, she's voting for Trump this year.
Oh, well, we got Mike that calls from Waterbury.
Yeah.
We got Paul from Plymouth. So I still believe in my oath. I swore to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Indeed.
I bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the same. And it says I would obey the orders of the president. But the point being, I still believe that. And if you're voting Democrat and you're a veteran, you're voting for a party that's not obeying the Constitution and is not protecting us by foreign enemies or domestic.
You know what? Let me say this before you leave, Rudy. Before you go. Sadly enough, my wife's very, very military involved. Right? She loves the military. In fact, she's thinking about getting a job.
Too.
No, she.
I collect furniture for the Elks Club to give them to homeless veterans. I'm a vet.
No, listen to what I'm saying, Rudy. Just trust me, this is true. She watches these videos online of young people who have joined the military. There are so many young people in the military today who talk about the military. It's like, hey, what did you join? And their response are things like, oh, because I was stupid. Oh, because I didn't know any better. Oh, because my recruiter lied to me. It is a very disengaged.
Do you know why I joined? I wanted random strangers to tell me thank you for my service. I didn't even consider serving. You know what that is? That's when I sneeze in public and you say God bless you and I don't know you.
Exactly. But no, I'm just saying, I think that veterans, I think that military folks and veterans today, especially the young ones, because of those videos that she shows me all the time, I think those kids can vote Democrat and know that they're voting against their best interests as veterans. Right? Yeah, she was Army.
She's not voting down ballot Democrat, though.
Oh, absolutely not. Oh, she's seen it. She's seen the light.
Yeah, well, about a year ago, she didn't see it.
No kidding. No kidding. But imagine who she married. You know what I'm saying?
Bless your heart. I've seen your wedding pictures online, and bless your heart, because I had a great thing going with a girl until she revealed that she thought Trump was a racist and a pig, and she would never vote for a Republican. And I walked out of the restaurant and never turned back and saw her again. Or she called me. I had to block her number. I couldn't spend 5 minutes in my apartment with a liberal.
You see, shows you.
House. I don't live in an apartment anymore.
I'm better than you, Rudy. No.
You know what that is?
What's that?
I refuse to settle on passion and a nose ring.
Ah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
I want a first date with a girl that wants to go to the firing range.
I hear that.
That's what I want.
I hear that.
I don't want a first date with a girl that wants to ban guns.
Well, no, my wife's a Second Amendment girl. Always have been, even when she was a liberal. Let me get to the next one, Rudy. Thanks for the call, man. Let's go to Everett in East Hartford. Hello, Everett. You are with Reese on Radio. Thank you for waiting.
Hello. Talking about, Biden and Trump, I mean, as much as we would wish that maybe that there was something or someone else, I worked for a company about 8 years ago, and I went there for the interview, talked to the boss, and, we're family friendly and very nice, polite, very, throw you a cup of coffee, maybe have a couple of cookies once in a while at the shop in the morning. But I busted my tails for these people. And when I talked to them about getting a raise, they said, what we'll do is, because of taxes, we give you a big bonus at the end of the year.
Okay.
Well, the big bonus never came.
Oh.
Yeah. So for as nice as they were and as respectful and nice and all that, it did not pay me a dime.
Wow.
It cost me my personal life, my family, etc.
Yeah.
I work for a guy now. I get along with him because we work, and he's a friggin', when it comes to business, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
But he doesn't make promises he can't keep?
He doesn't make promises, and if you just step out of line, he don't hold back. He lets you know right off, gives it right to you.
Yeah.
You straighten out your act.
Yeah.
So sometimes he's not the most friendliest man in the world, but you know what? He keeps his promises, and my wallet's full. So I don't have to go to dinner with him. I don't have to invite him to a family dinner. But we have an agreement. And he does his job and I do mine.
That's it.
Well, I don't like, before Trump was elected, I would have told you he was all the horrible things they tell you he is now.
Yeah.
But because I have paid attention to politics and the media, they're like a 180-degree compass. So when they started saying horrible things about Trump, I had to go and investigate and find out what's going on. Yeah, the NAACP, how many times did they recognize Donald Trump? You know, lost count.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's amazing because everything he's ever done in his life, all the stuff he did for New York, there was that ice skating rink they couldn't get finished.
Yeah.
He came in and knocked it out.
They don't listen. This was never about that.
Money.
Everett, their whole deal was, and that's the crazy part. Their whole deal with Donald Trump had nothing to do with him or his integrity or who he was as a person. The problem was that he overturned the apple cart. He told them about themselves to their face and said that they were working for themselves and not working for the American people. I think Dave Chappelle said it famously on his Saturday Night Live, bit that he did, where he gave the opening monologue and he talked about how people in Ohio, where he lives, talked about Donald Trump. And he said he realized something about Donald Trump that really resonated with the American people, is that when he got on that stage and he said that the whole thing was rigged, and Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama said, no, it's not rigged, prove it. And he said, it's rigged because I use it. And he's a businessman and they're politicians. And a businessman was telling how the sausage was made, while these two politicians, who everybody's supposed to love and adore, were lying to them. And they knew it. Like every American people knows this. Everybody knows the system is rigged. The guy who they're supposed to hate's telling them the truth. And the people who they're supposed to trust, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, are lying to their faces. And even Dave Chappelle said, I looked at him and said, no. It's what he said. It's what Trump said. It is rigged. We know because we've all done it. And when they realized that destroyed the Democrat Party, and it also destroyed the faith in Donald Trump, in essence, to treat him fairly. They had to destroy him because he was going to ruin everything that they had built. Yep.
That was one of the things that turned me to his side.
Exactly. I got to go, Everett, but thank you. I appreciate the exchange. It's time to get to the BPS Traffic Center. Is Mark Christopher back?
I am. I'm right here.
Hey, Mark, what's going on, man? Welcome back from the holiday.
Well, thank you. If you're heading into Hartford right now, overall, we are looking good, Reese, on the southbound side of I-91. Just a little slow traffic getting by 33 Jennings Road, and again down by exit 28. If you're traveling northbound 91, bumping by exit 22, the Route 9 interchange at Cromwell. After that, good ride, Hartford up into Windsor. Both sides of 84 looking good, Farmington to Vernon. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound, you're going to see slow traffic 22 up to the Aragoni Bridge. Heading toward Waterbury, that looks good, 84 and 8. 84 eastbound, Danbury slowing 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound tight 8 to 9 as you move Danbury into Newtown. 95 southbound, New Haven tight from exit 46 down to exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. Sunny to partly cloudy, hot and humid this afternoon, the high of 94.
Michael B. Simple Jack. That's always going to be a great burn.
Another hot and humid day on tap for Tuesday as sunshine gives way to clouds. We'll have a thunderstorm in a couple of spots for the afternoon, a high of 93. Then for Tuesday night, a thunderstorm in spots during the evening. Cloudy, warm, and humid again, the low only down to 74. Wednesday, not as hot, but uncomfortably humid with a mix of clouds and sun. A thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon, the high of 87. Cloudy, warm, and humid with a couple of showers and thunderstorms from Tropical Rainstorm Beryl Wednesday night with the low of 72. Still uncomfortably humid Thursday with a mix of clouds and sun. Couple of afternoon showers and a heavy thunderstorm. Watch for some flash flooding, the high of 84. Then Friday, uncomfortably humid, still plenty of clouds. A thunderstorm in the afternoon, the high of 87. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hey, it's Eric Erickson. I hope you'll tune in to listen to my show every weeknight at 6 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080. I'll break down the news of the day, everything from national politics down to the battle at the local school board. I'm not going to give you the party line, no predictable red meat. I'll give you the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and what's going on in this insane world. I hope you'll join me. The Eric Erickson Show, weeknights 6 till 9 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080 and on the free Odyssey app.
WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
92 degrees, 4 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Staying in the 90s for now, low around 70 tonight. More humid tomorrow with a high in the low 90s. Governor Lamont activates the state's extreme hot weather protocol through Wednesday afternoon. You can get cooling center info at 211. 2 national championships equals big bucks. The new contract for UConn coach Dan Hurley is 6 years, $50 million. Works out to about $8 million for the upcoming season.
Other dealers told
Hurley is keeping his options open on a future in the NBA. UConn beat writer Joe Arruda of the Hartford Courant explains it will get cheaper over the years for Hurley to take off of the pros if he wants.
The NBA buyout
is building a couple of
now are
massive
significantly
plants
less
where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, you and I are massive plans.
$1.5 million in year 2 of the contract, and then $1 million in year 3. After that, there's no NBA buyout for the final 3 years of the deal.
Joe reports assistant coaches Kamani Young, Tom Moore, and Luke Murray also have new contracts. President Biden saying again he's not leaving the presidential race. He sent a letter to members of Congress about that. Larry Sabato of the University of Virginia says when they should be attacking Donald Trump, Democrats are not making great use of their time.
This has weakened Biden. This has weakened the Democratic Party. It's weakened the Democratic effort to win the House again and keep the Senate. So it has been a very counterproductive 10 days to 2 weeks.
Hot weather records are falling. Las Vegas checked in at 120 yesterday, not just a record for the date, as explained by CBS News meteorologist David Parkinson.
Vegas had their all-time hottest day ever this past weekend.
The night
and
before,
they'll break daily
if
records
you
for
look,
the next several days.
there were people
the heat is firmly locked in place in the west over the next
very
3 days. More
quietly,
than 100 records
the
will fall.
taking down
4 heat-related deaths in the area of Portland, Oregon. The widespread
I'm
hot
sure
weather
that group that was
contributing
in
to
bed
at
was
least
the following
20
day, it looked like they
wildfires
had
and
some
more in California.
rough,
California
bad
is not just dealing with
people.
wildfires.
Neo-Nazis,
the state's in the midst of a
white nationalists,
historic
whatever
heat
you
wave.
want to call
Oh my
it.
gosh, it's
But
so
you had a lot
hot
of
here.
people in that group that were there to illustrate.
Like when it's like
I'm
this
sure in
hot
that group that was in bed was the
Multiple
following
records
day. It
were
looked
broken
like they had
this
some.
weekend. Death Valley, one of the
of
hottest
Robert E.
places
Lee.
on earth, hit a blistering
I'm sure in that group that was in bed was the
129
following day. It
degrees
looked like they
yesterday,
had some
tying the
taking down.
2007 record
If you look,
and contributing
were
to at least
people
one death.
CBS's
protested.
Carter Evans reporting
You look.
2 million power outages in Texas, where Beryl made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane this morning. It's now a tropical storm. At least 2 people are dead there. CBS's Omar Villafranca reports.
Beryl's torrential rain quickly flooded streets in Houston. A few cars plowed through deep water, and at least one had to be pushed. Fierce winds also battered Sugar Land, Texas, after Beryl made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane. Storm surge rose to about 7 feet in areas just west of Galveston Bay.
For those of us that do live on the island, we're very well prepared in terms of the flooding.
National Hurricane Center says damaging winds and flash flooding will continue as Beryl continues pushing inland. The closing bell report brought to you by Bouvier Insurance. The Dow fell 31 points. S&P climbed 6 points. The NASDAQ was plus 51 points. And sports, Pittsburgh beat the Mets 8-2. Novak Djokovic leading his 4th-round match at Wimbledon by 2 sets. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News.
Sorry, but we have
One minute.
for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. Here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs. And
That's a Kanye beat, isn't it?
With eBay Motors, you get
Yeah. What? That UGK.
Yeah.
Keep your heart 3 stacks. Keep your heart. No, it's that's not Kanye. It's Andre 3000 and them boys.
Oh, is that them?
alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back. Ooh, why would you even do this? This is just mean. Turn that up a little bit. And what we have is one of my favorite groups of all time. This is an album called The Grind Date, De La Soul. Rest in peace, True Goy, The Dove. De La Soul, that was my group. Whew.
That's a groove right there, boy.
Yeah, great groove. Great group. And I was reluctant. I was late to the game on De La Soul. The first album, 3 Feet High and Rising, the critically acclaimed album, hated it. Hated it.
That's crazy.
Hated it. Did not. I thought it was just too jumbled and noisy. And it took De La Soul is Dead, the second album. That one, and critics panned that album. But that was one of my favorite albums. Then Balloon Mind State and everything else thereafter. Artificial Intelligence. I bought all three of those. Still love De La Soul to this day. Anyway, I want to do something real quick before we get into back to the BPS Traffic Center. I love this conversation when everyone's talking about Donald Trump and the chaos. Folks, the chaos is created by the media. It always has been. It always will be. Dictator on day one.
You are promising America tonight you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except
Look,
for?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border and I want to drill.
That's
drill,
not. That's
drill.
That's not.
Oh, no.
That's not retribution.
I'm gonna be. He keeps. We love this guy. He says, "You're not gonna be a dictator, are you?" I said, "No. Other than day one, we're closing the border and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator."
Okay, so everybody knows what he said, but yet, what does the media print? You know what they print. You don't have to go anywhere further. Remember Bloodbath?
A couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now.
I'm never going to get a chance to. I'm got to get into the BPS Traffic Center. I thought I would have enough chance to do it. Let's get back to Mark Christopher at BPS Traffic Center. I'll play it after. Hey, Mark. Oh, I'm telling you, this was the only song I liked off that album, Mark.
Really?
It was the radio song. It was, the radio record.
It was a big hit, yeah.
Yeah. But for me, it was different because it had a groove. It was sing-songy, but there were other songs that like Say No Go, which samples Hall & Oates, another one of my favorite groups.
Right.
Those were the only two songs that I liked on it. Everything else on that album was just a bunch of mishmash of sounds and just Prince Paul from Stetsasonic was the producer on that album. And it just sounded like a bunch of noise to me. And it just didn't. But I still, I love this album more now than I did then. Just like the Rolling Stones. It took me 30 years to like them.
Well, sometimes you just got to grow into it. That's
Yep,
what it is
exactly.
Sometimes. Hey, Reese, thank you very much. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 to 32. Northbound 91 is tight 21 to 22. And Cromwell after that, easy ride toward Hartford up into Windsor. Now, if you're traveling on the eastbound side of 84, delays 48 Capitol Avenue to the tunnel. Looks real good. Westbound 84, Vernon to Farmington. 291 through 84, okay. 2 eastbound, moving well into Glastonbury. 9 northbound, a little tight. Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. If you are heading into Waterbury, that's okay. 84 to 8. Heading 84 eastbound in Danbury, tight 3 to 5. Again, some slow traffic, 84 eastbound as you move from 8 to 9, Danbury into Newtown. 95 southbound delays 46 to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Listen, stakes is high, very underrated De La Soul. Listen, we've got an air quality alert in effect throughout the day.
What? You got them coming out.
Excuse me.
I love it.
Advisory.
I've never heard anybody comment from them on anything.
Yeah, right.
Combination of the heat and humidity together up to 99 degrees during the day on Tuesday. So please be very cautious. Make sure you stay well hydrated. Sports drinks and water. Stay away from caffeine and alcohol. Tonight, mostly cloudy, warm and humid for us as we head through the overnight. Just very little respite from the heat. The low for us, only down to 74 degrees. Then as we head through our Tuesday, hot and humid, sun giving way to some clouds, a thunderstorm in a couple of spots for the afternoon. That high of 93. Again, the heat index could be upwards of 99 throughout the day. As we head into Wednesday, uncomfortably humid, a mix of clouds and sunshine. There'll be a thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon. That high of 87 on Wednesday. Currently Bridgeport at 87, New Haven at 89, and it's 92 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I'm Brett Director from Connecticut Lighting Centers. Looking for a new ceiling fan? Connecticut Lighting Centers has you covered. Over 180 ceiling fans on display and hundreds in stock ready to go. Connecticut Lighting Centers with showrooms in Hartford and Southington or online at ctlighting.com featuring Hinkley.
Maybe you have arthritic pain and that joint pain is keeping you from doing things you love. Bone-on-bone pain, knees, hips, back, or shoulder. Well, there actually is a whole slew of exciting new cellular therapies can get you lasting relief. It's called QC Kinetics. They're helping patients like you every single day. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in what they call advanced regenerative medicine. I'm talking about cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, that revitalize your joints so you can move again without pain. They've helped so many people, thousands more around the entire country. So if you're living with chronic pain from arthritis or injury, you need to know that steroids and surgery and pain pills are no longer your only option. Learn how QC Kinetics can treat the pain, enhance your joints to restore mobility, give you long-term relief with no downtime. The future of medicine, but it's here now at Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. That consultation, by the way, is free. 860-440-PAIN. Again, 860-440-PAIN. It's QC Kinetics. That consultation, just to find out about it, is totally free. 860-440-PAIN.
I'm elder law attorney Haley Allaire. Our greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hello, this is Mary from Berlin. Our family chose Allaire Elder Law to help us in getting our mom into the right nursing home that worked best for her and our family. Although her parents had a will, power of attorney, and healthcare representative forms, they were old and out of date. Allaire was able to handle the new documents along with generating a testamentary trust that fit best for our parents' current situation. Once that was completed, Allaire told me as the power of attorney what I needed to do to save as many assets as I could. Our family continues to use Allaire's elder care services to promote mom's health, safety, and well-being. Allaire's care coordinator continues to take part in mom's care plan meetings, and she continues to advocate for mom's right to quality care. Without Allaire Elder Law, we certainly would not have been able to save the assets we did, nor be in the position we are in today.
Find out more at allaireelderlaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-522-2174. 800-522-2174. 800-522-2174.
Dan owed
1 minute.
Full amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, he wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-682-9928. 800-9928. 800-682-9928.
Number tax relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, you would. I'm already upset. I'm already destroyed. My heart is, even though I know they're in their 70s, like, who is going to see them on tour now or listen to another album put out by them? But Hall & Oates is over. It's like watching your parents break up, okay? It's tough. It's tough. Love Hall & Oates.
That joint right there, they say you could put Part-Time Lover over that.
You can, and I've done it. And I've done it. Okay, back to Donald Trump.
And you think you're going to get that? You're going to not hire Americans and you're going to sell the cars to us? No, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line. And you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
Now, everybody knew he was talking about the car industry, but what did that turn into? Nonsense. And then, of course, it's the infamous one.
They were people protesting very quietly the taking down of the statue of Robert E. Lee. I'm sure in that group there were some bad ones. The following day, it looked like they had some rough, bad people, neo-Nazis, white nationalists, whatever you want to call them. But you had a lot of people in that group that were there to innocently protest and very legally protest because, you know, I don't know if you know, they had a permit. The other group didn't have a permit. So I only tell you this. There are two sides to a story. I thought what took place was a horrible moment for our country, a horrible moment. But there are two sides to the country. Does anybody have a final?
So everybody knew he was talking about it. He was pointing out white nationalists, and you remember the two very fine people on both sides hoax that what it is. So I hear these people talking about what Donald Trump represents as far as chaos is concerned. Taking what he said and turning it into chaos is not chaos. And people always ask me, they go, well, maybe he should be careful about what he says. Do you really think that that's going to happen here? Like, no one takes ownership of reinterpreting or suggesting or cutting off things that he says to make them sound other ways. Those people bear no responsibility for what they do. If you're splicing and dicing content to make it appear that somebody's doing something else, I played this clip. Who was the ones who reported a TMZ? Not a reputable news site. They're there for entertainment value. They talk about celebrity nonsense. Was it TMZ who reported that Donald Trump had changed Black History Month to African American History Month? Yes. Did they omit the fact that Barack Obama, William Jefferson Clinton, and George W. Bush had referred to it as African American History Month? No, they did not. But people ran with the story and immediately called Donald Trump a racist for it. Who was the network that suggested that Donald Trump remove the bust of Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office? Was that Donald Trump's chaos? Was that his chaos? Was he creating that? No. Was Russiagate his chaos? Hillary Clinton and the Steele dossier paying for it? Giving it to the FBI, creating a groundswell in the news media that attacked the president of the United States for something he had no responsibility for at all? Was that his chaos too? I don't hear anyone talking about the ownership of the individuals who create the chaos because it's associated. It's almost like it's Donald Trump's fault for existing. And I would rather you just say that. I would rather you just put on your big boy pants and just come out and say it. That Donald Trump's mere existence causes other people to act in chaotic ways. You probably would tell your girlfriend while she's burning your apartment down, yes, sweetheart, it's my fault. Remember that? Andre Rison in Left Eye. Do you remember that? Are you old enough for that one, Roland? Left Eye?
Yep.
When she burned down Andre Rison's home, her boyfriend's home. Why? Because he came home with a bunch of sneakers and didn't buy anything for her. She burned down his house. And yet everyone called her the victim. Lorena Bobbitt and John Wayne Bobbitt. What did that woman do infamously? She violently attacked him and detached his genitalia from his body. Who did they call the victim in all of this? Lorena Bobbitt. That man was attacked viciously. Okay? Had it thrown into the grass while she drove off, and people turned around and made her the victim. How horrible that guy was.
Because he cheated.
Did it deserve him to be removed from his appendage? I mean, tell me what the penalty is. That's where we are, folks. So please, no offense. I hear what you're saying. I understand that people say that Donald Trump has a couple of unforced errors, but then again, who doesn't? But please, come on, spare me. The big stuff ain't him. Okay? Dictator on day one, that's not him. That's not him. Back to the phones we go. Let's hit Joe in Simsbury. You on with Reese on the radio. Hello, Joe.
Hi, Reese.
Yes, sir.
So I called in earlier and I made a statement that was, pretty strong. It's from my core. And that is that people can vote for RFK. They can vote for the Green Party.
Sure.
They can vote for Kamala if she runs or any other Democrat. I'm going to respectfully disagree with them. But if you vote for Joe Biden with what you know now, and especially what it's going to be like in the next 4 months as he deteriorates.
Yep.
My statement was, you hate America. And the fact of the matter is that I don't care if you don't vote for Donald Trump. Rudy even said he's not voting for Trump.
Right.
That's fine. But you can't vote for Joe Biden and say you love America. You can't, because you're making a mockery of the country.
Indeed.
Now, the fact is that right now, there's all this analysis that goes on, whether it be talk radio or the 24-hour news networks or Substacks or whatever. The fact is, and not opinion, fact, there is no way right now that Joe Biden can win.
None.
People who think that, oh, yeah, he could still win, he could still pull this out, they belong to a special kind of stupid club. There is no possible way.
Yes.
But now I'll tell you what the possible way is. I'll eat my own words. That if they can't get rid of Biden, then we have a couple of things going on right now. We have Australia closing down all McDonald's for breakfast because they provide eggs because there's a bird flu outbreak.
Right.
There's all this talk about, oh, they're going to come with the aliens. The bottom line here, and now I just saw as I was on hold, Heritage Foundation is saying they did a survey. 10% of illegal immigrants admit that they're registered to vote. So this is where that special kind of stupid club comes in.
Yep.
And that is that if you believe that Joe Biden is going to run and they're not going to pull another pandemic on us. And speaking of pandemics, right now there's what's called the flirt variant for COVID,
right?
Which some doctors are saying this is going to be the worst variant of all the variants. But I mentioned the bird flu. These people are going to try to do something, anything, so that way they can get people to not have to physically go to the polls.
That's right.
And that brings me full circle to there is no way that Joe Biden can win this election.
Right. Because we already saw the writing on the wall for the last pandemic with people who were deathly afraid based upon the government telling them what to do and what not to do. We know exactly who the people are who complied. And if those people don't get out into the polls, they're sunk. The Democrat Party sunk. Let me.
I was in Canada last week.
Yes, sir.
And that country is getting more and more divided every day, and it was refreshing, but it was also kind of scary.
Yeah.
Because you have in Alberta, they just figured out that unexplained deaths of children are up 3,328%.
Wow.
People are starting to notice, and they're starting to be like, why do these kids die? They all had to get vaccines.
Wow.
And then you got the other group, which is like, oh, no, that's just crazy talk. My own wife is supposed to go overseas for a trip with 5 friends in a few months. And right now, in the last 30 days, 3 of the friends have come down with cancer.
Wow.
There is a massive cancer pandemic going around the world. So
I am hearing that a lot.
Because the thing is that I'm bringing this up because unless they replace Joe Biden, if they have Gavin Newsom, for example, I don't know that they need to do the shenanigans to steal the election.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people out there, and what they're saying is, oh boy, if Joe Biden wins, there's no way that'll really wake up the American people. It's like, really? You have an attitude that you want to wait till after the time to suddenly wake up?
Yeah.
It's frightening, and it's people on our side as well that
I know.
It's like, stop the nonsense.
Yeah.
Joe,
let me let you go, but you make a good point. I'm going to bring up a Gavin Newsom point in the next hour. You brought up Gavin Newsom. A lot of people are talking about him, but there are strong sort of let's just say inklings about Gavin Newsom and why we know, much like Michelle Obama, he's not going to run, at least not this time around. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you, man, as always. Do I have a minute for one? I can take one more. Let me take one more. Let's go Dave in Bristol. Hello, Dave. You're on with Reese on the radio.
Hey, Reese. I'll be quick.
Yes, sir.
I talked to you last week about this Saudi Arabia
Yes.
oil deal that went kaput. I did some research that went out June 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everything I found about that is that the Biden administration did absolutely nothing to maintain that deal.
Right.
So a few of the callers have called about energy and stuff like that. We're in a bad boat.
Well, BRICS is trying to replace the dollar, but the petrodollar, or the American dollar for that matter, is too strong. I just saw a story about that yesterday, that even though they're trying to, but the American dollar is too strong. That change, although it might come, it's not going to come anytime soon, but there is an effort. There is definitely a strong effort.
The fact that Saudi Arabia is going to take money from everybody else in the world means we pay higher prices.
Yep.
That means they're going to go to the highest bidder.
Exactly.
And they're not tied to us anymore.
And I think that's the idea, as it were. That's definitely the idea.
Our entire strategic reserve, banned all the drilling in this country, and we have no production.
Yeah.
So watch out.
We have to be very, very, we got to be very cautious, and we had to watch the tea leaves, as it were. Thank you. I appreciate it, Dave. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Right?
Yeah, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, pretty good ride overall. Nothing major going on. If you're on the southbound side of I-91, you're going to see some slow traffic getting by exit 33 Jennings Road. Again, you've got a good ride from that point down into Meriden. Northbound 91's a little slow getting by exit 22. The Route 9, if you're changing after that, good ride Hartford up into Windsor. 84 eastbound slowing 44 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. Westbound 84 a little tight, Bulkley Bridge. Westbound 291 384 moving well. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound a little slow as you approach Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Westbound 84 tapping the brakes as you approach the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound Danbury tight 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound slowing 8 up to 9 in Newtown. Again, 84 eastbound slowing by 11 in Newtown. Southbound 95, you've got tight traffic 46 to 44 in New Haven. Northbound Parkway, southbound Parkway, that is slow traffic between 60 and the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Have you tried everything you can think of to find relief from foot pain? The Good Feet store has helped countless people who didn't find any relief from expensive shoes, cushions, or even shots. You can find the nearest Good Feet store to you at goodfeet.com.
WTIC weather. Well, this afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy and hot, the high of 94. Then clear, warm, and humid overnight, the low only dropping back to 73. Another hot and humid day on Tuesday, though sunshine will be given way to clouds, and we'll have a thunderstorm in a couple of spots for the afternoon. The high of 93. Wednesday, uncomfortably humid, but not as hot. We'll have a mix of clouds and sun, a thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon. The high of 87. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
92 degrees at 4:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Heat advisory in effect, high in the mid-90s, low around 70 tonight. More humid tomorrow with a high around 90. Governor Lamont activates the state's extreme hot weather protocol through Wednesday afternoon. A big raise, as expected, for the UConn men's basketball coach. The new contract for Dan Hurley, 6 years, $50 million. Works out to about $8 million for the upcoming season. Hartford Courant's UConn beat writer Joe Arruda says it's looking good for a chance at the three-peat.
Caravan coming back and the roster that they've built, they've been able to get the transfers that they've wanted. And they've got, one of the best freshmen, potentially one of the best freshmen coming in Liam McNeely. So I think this roster does have a chance to compete. I think it's one of the best rosters in the country.
UConn says funding for the Hurley contract comes from donations to the Husky Athletic Fund and ticket sales. In a letter, President Biden says once again he's not leaving the race. CBS's Scott McFarland reports.
In his new letter sent to Congress, the president says, quote, I'm firmly committed to staying in this race, to running this race to the end, and to beating Donald Trump. He does so at the end of a weekend in which more U.S. House Democrats said the president should withdraw from the race, and as Congress returns to Washington with more potentially vulnerable Democrats saying the president should do the same.
The AP reports Connecticut Congressman Jim Himes has privately said Biden should step aside. A spokesperson doesn't deny that, but says Himes has not made any public statements on the issue. The AP also reports the Republican National Committee adopts a policy platform document that does not include a national abortion ban. That's at the request of nominee Donald Trump and comes despite wide-ranging calls in the GOP in favor of the federal ban. The State Department of Public Health calling for more at-risk patients to get vaccinated against Mpox. 11 state residents have been diagnosed this year compared with just 2 last year. DPH Commissioner Manisha Jutani.
If you are at risk, the goal that we are trying to communicate out to people is that we have plenty of vaccines, that if you received only one vaccine, please come back and get a second. And if you have not been vaccinated at all, take this opportunity.
Jutani says Mpox has largely been circulating among gay men. No deaths have been reported in the state. Closing bell report brought to you by Bouvier Insurance. The Dow closed down 31. S&P climbed 6 points. NASDAQ was up 51 points. Sports, Pittsburgh beat the Mets 8-2. Wimbledon, American Taylor Fritz, a 5-set winner. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager. WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck. If there's one thing I've learned from last July 4th and this July 4th since Awaken 180 Weight Loss changed my life, it's that I lose nothing that makes a great summer celebration so enjoyable. But I do gain some things. I mean, I'm still eating hot dogs, burgers, sausages, all the good stuff, and enjoying a cocktail or two with my friends. I'm just doing it using the recipes and foods recommended by my Awaken 180 coach. All foods available at my local grocery store. Easy peasy. Oh yeah, all while not gaining my usual summer weight. But you know what I have gained since my weight loss? Swimming and boating with the kids, crazy long walks with no back pain, that's a new thing. I usually walk 10 miles at least once or twice a week. I've also gained a much higher level of energy. I needed that over the long weekend, especially with 5 kids. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Lose weight and I guess gain a new life. I know I did. Call them at 844-346-1800. 844-346-1800 or get them online at awaken180weightloss.com.
1 minute.
Thank you.
Oops. Ever had your singing lessons cut short by icy water?
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
Say goodbye to those cold notes with Navient tankless water heaters.
You got Wayne.
Without the surprise.
Well, first you got Matt, then Steve, then Wayne.
Waterfall.
All right, Matt, Steve, no Chris?
Encore when you get your
Chris dropped off.
Okay.
tankless water heaters. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find
Well, I can't
the
take them
one.
now anyway.
We
I
guarantee
need
if you're reading,
Yeah, you probably could fit one in.
and new customers receive 20 minutes.
You'll have about 2.5 minutes.
Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Capone and Noriega. I got a great story about Capone from Capone and Noriega. He was with me at the premiere for the Chappelle Show, and he hung out with me all night. That was the first time I'd ever met him, and I hung out with him all night. The premiere of the Chappelle Show, he and I hung out. He was wearing a black fur. I know, it's a long story. Anyway, back to the phones we go. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Steve in Waterbury. Steve, how are you, sir? You on with Reese on the Radio?
I'm doing well, Reese. How you doing, bud?
All right, sir.
All right. Good. Hey, don't rule out Hall and Oates too quickly. Look what happened with Brenda Lee and South Fogarty from Creedence Clearwater Revival.
That's true. That's true.
I'm going to segue this into the military to a degree and back to the media. Remember when the media was saying about George Bush Sr. as being a wimp?
Yeah.
And they do sway things. I feel that they are swaying a lot about our media too. When you were mentioning like with your girlfriend or your wife, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't even bring up your girlfriend. She probably doesn't know about that.
Don't you start. Go on.
Anyways, obviously the people are, like squeaky wheel getting the grease. There's so many good people in the military, and our technology is so far advanced.
Right.
Look at our secondhand stuff we're sending to Ukraine and what they're doing to Russia.
Mm-hmm.
I think, China's seeing that. I don't think they're ever going to start anything right now with us. I think they're pretty much got the message that, America is not to be messed with.
Right. Agreed. I think, that's a totally separate issue. And, it's funny because you get into those discussions and people go ape when you start talking about that. But I think you're right. I don't think at this particular point, Joe makes a very, very solid point. I think the American people, you may have to turn yourself off in the background. He makes one very solid point that I agree with. And that is that the American people would have to be stupid to vote for Joe Biden at this point. Now, sure, there are the zealots. There are the Joy Reids out there.
Y'all just tell me who the nominee is going to be. Let me know when you guys are finished fighting amongst yourselves who I got to vote for in November to keep Hitler out the White House.
Sure, there are those people out there, but it is not a massive number. I think that this is going to be a political landslide for Donald Trump at this point. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Now, the groom doesn't start exercising. He doesn't look long for this world. He is a mess. I mean, he's a mess. Gotta jump off.
What is he talking about? Mark, are you there?
Yes.
Hey,
I'm
Mark.
right here.
What's going on? I think you were responding to somebody else.
Yeah, I was talking to Gina J down on the FM.
Oh, okay.
So we were talking about a pre-wedding party that Justin Bieber made $10 million at on Friday.
What?
Yep. $10 million for
This
one
is why I
night.
hate the young people.
This is why I need an agent.
Yeah, you and me both, right?
We both need an agent. I mean, I'm not going to make $10 million, but it would be nice to make a little more than I'm making now. But if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91, you got some delays getting by 33 Jennings Road. Northbound 91 is slowing again down by exit 18 to 17 in Meriden on 91 South. Northbound 91 slowing by exit 22 in Cromwell. After that, good ride Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is a little tight. Coming out of the tunnel up to 47 Sigourney Street, 84 eastbound tight, 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue, 291 through 84 okay, it's the River 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury into Marlboro. Heading into Middletown, 9 northbound delays Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Waterbury's a little slow westbound 84 as you approach the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Danbury slowing by 5, again some delays, 84 eastbound by 11. Southbound Parkway, some slow traffic between exit 60 in the West Rock, 95 South New Haven slows 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Oh, an air quality alert in effect from 11 in the morning till 11 p.m. on Tuesday. Air quality alert action means ground level ozone concentrations in the region may approach or exceed unhealthy standards. So please use caution if you got to do anything outdoors tomorrow. Also, a heat advisory remains in effect until 8 p.m. Tuesday evening. Heat index values, the combination of the heat and humidity together, what it feels like on your skin could be up to 99 degrees during the day on Tuesday. As we head through tonight, cloudy, warm, and humid. The low only down to 73. Hot and humid for Tuesday. Sun giving way to clouds. There'll be a thunderstorm in 1 or 2 spots for the afternoon. That high of 93. Wednesday, uncomfortably humid. A mix of clouds and sun. A thunderstorm in spots. The high of 87. Thursday, still uncomfortably humid. Clouds and sun. Couple of afternoon showers and a heavy thunderstorm. Could be some flash flooding with some of those storms. The high of 84. Taking a look around. Waterbury is 88, Danbury at 89, and it's still 92 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Insane in the main drain.
I'm going insane when my pipes won't drain.
When you got roots in your main.
I'm going insane when my pipes won't drain.
When your plumbing's backed up, don't go insane. Just call the B. Call the B for your $89 drainage system check. We will clear any drain and perform a camera inspection to ensure your sanity. Just call the B. Call the B.com. Let's call the letter B.com.
It's official. It's a wrap for Cypress Hill.
Call the B today.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary.
Oh, man.
Safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Select's premium package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/try. That's JABRA enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
It is your girl Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, okay, I listen to Reese on the radio.
And we're back. More news and more views than you can shake a stick at. We've got Wayne and Morris is on hold, isn't he? Wayne, are you there? Wayne,
I've got something for you.
You got it,
that I
Wayne.
believe no one else has brought up.
What's that, sir?
They may have brushed close to it, but we have, in our country, a succession of power built into our government.
That's right.
Okay? So we have the president,
we have the vice president. And then third in line is the Speaker of the House, now Mike Johnson. Okay?
Right.
Now, it is up to the vice president, as part of her duties as vice president, to declare the president unfit to keep office. And
That's
she's
right.
supposed to step into the office. She has not done that.
That's
she
right.
has failed to do that. So therefore, the succession now falls to Mike Johnson.
Correct.
And Mike Johnson should call for those two to step down using the 25th Amendment, and he becomes president for the rest of the year immediately, without any election, just because of the order of succession in the Constitution.
Even with, hold on, Wayne, even with, like, we're not really arguing the acuity of Kamala Harris. And if we are following the succession of power, Kamala Harris must take over. I mean, are you suggesting that we have?
Won't.
But no, I understand that she won't. That trust me,
Okay,
she
so
refuses.
if she won't, then Mike Johnson takes over.
Does he have to do
it's as
that?
simple as
Does he have to do that congressionally with a 2/3 vote though? Because I almost feel like there's a.
Yeah, but I think he can get it, because you got to remember,
This is
we're
true.
not just looking at one failure; we're looking at two. And the reason is not because the president and vice president failed,
Right.
but because it's a national security emergency.
Correct.
Our
I do.
whole nation is at rest because we have no president and no vice president.
And it's
So
true.
We have to solve this problem immediately.
It's very true,
And we
because
have to call
I
for
think
Mike Johnson to become president.
I think it's without question that the confidence in the president of the United States is not with him. And the fact that we are hearing from people like Ralph Nader, the fact that, even though guys like Jim Clyburn are hedging on this full-throated support of replacing him, he at least sounds like he's hedging. Now, you've got the other, Maxine Waters, the kooks who are in the party who refuse to, to say otherwise. But you've got some really considerate people in the party who are saying it's time for him to step down. Nader, what am I saying? Jerry Nadler, for one. There are some people who are coming out and saying that, they've lost faith and confidence in the president of the United States at this point. But so you're right. I think Mike Johnson may have the votes to do so. But if he were to do that and he fails, I don't think he will. You know what? Now that I think about it, you might be right. He may not fail in that part.
I don't think he will fail.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think that people are going to realize, for the sake of the country, sake of national emergency, no
That's
matter
true.
what stripe they are, you don't want to be invaded by China.
Yeah, well, here's the scary part. Think about this, Wayne, because here's an important part. If Mike Johnson were to make this suggestion, right, that we need a 2/3 vote in Congress to remove the president of the United States, and if not, the vice president of the United States, and people who were to come out, this is going to be probably, if this were to happen, it would be the biggest story of the day. So anyone who stayed with the president and pushed against this would be on the record that says, are you serious? To the American people, are you serious that the guy that you're looking at, you would vote to keep him in office? Politically, that would be, I mean, forget about it. It's an albatross. It's over for them in their political aspirations in the future. So I believe that you're right. I believe that.
Only way to go.
Yeah, I think that Mike Johnson may have the momentum to do that. I think it's a fair assessment, unless somebody says otherwise. But thank you, Wayne. I really appreciate this call. Thank you so much.
Got it, Reese. Take care.
My pleasure, man. Let's go to Matt in Bristol. Hello, Matt. You're on Reese on the radio on the Todd Feinberg Show.
Hello, Mr. Hopkins.
What's up, Matt? How are you?
You know how I know you're the king of talk radio right now?
Go ahead. But don't make me.
You and the Pope at the same time, and I just had to put the Pope on hold. So.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Don't embarrass me, man. You're not.
Yeah, but even though you've been doing this for a while, I'm just going to give you a little tidbit. If anyone ever says real quick, it's going to be a really long thing.
I know.
Let me tell you something real quick.
Wait, before you say anything, wait, I want to tell you this. This is absolutely true. I say this all the time. Whenever I hear someone telling a story and the guy goes, long story short, Do you remember that movie Clue?
Yes.
Yeah, and every time somebody says, long story short, I go, too late.
Okay, will you give me at least a gunshot for that one?
I will give you a gunshot. I'm not allowed to do it on this show, but I will give it to you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, do it on another one.
You got it.
Actually, I called the one thing that keeps bothering me. I keep hearing over and over again about the debate. Trump lied, Trump lied. Why is no one bringing up the fact that Biden said no one died in Afghanistan under his watch?
I know. Which had to be the most egregious lie of all.
Of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the most crazy lie that, I mean, either he didn't realize that happened.
Yep.
Well, I think that's really.
I think that's it.
The only explanation.
I think that everything that came out of Joe Biden's mouth that day, I don't believe he remembers anything of it. And I will go to George Stephanopoulos' interview with him when he was asked whether or not he reviewed the debate. And he says, I don't remember if I did or not. And I'm going, in my head, I'm going, what? Like it's all anyone could talk about everywhere. You guys have been playing catch up on this nightmare of your administration and your reelection campaign, and you can't. Again, what is your biggest problem? Is the fact that you have a lack of memory and you fade off and you talk about things that are in an incoherent way, and you ask the question about whether or not you've seen the debate performance, and you go, I don't remember if I watched it. Oh, just call it a night, for crying out loud, man. Just call it a night. But thank you, Matt. I appreciate you. Let's get to Ralph in South Kakalaki, as it's written in the chat room. What's going on, Ralph?
Good afternoon. A couple things. First of all, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Question is, do you think in your lifetime or my lifetime we'll ever see an honest politician?
I'm hopeful. I'm sorry, Ralph. I'm still hopeful. Maybe I'm delusional, but I'm still hopeful.
The reason I say that, I'm a pretty much very independent person.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see these politicians, and this goes for both sides.
Sure.
Just one side. When one of their own does something wrong, they try to make out it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying, yeah, that was bad, this was wrong. Yeah, the border's wide open, we got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
None of them have the courage to say that. What they should do is go to Oz and ask the wizard for courage to be a decent human being. And not political, but be an honest human being.
Agreed.
That's what I would like to see. And we probably aren't going to see that in our lifetime. The second, and I think this is really important, listening to the Democrats call Trump a convicted criminal. Well, let me tell you something. Anybody with half a brain or with any common sense or as an honest human being knows that Joe Biden would have been a convicted criminal had he not been given the break.
Oh, by Robert Hur.
Exactly.
And we know, that's the interesting part, is that Robert Hur, when asked, what is the only, did Joe Biden commit crimes? And he says 100%, and the only reason why that guy is not in a criminal case to this day is because he's an old doddering man with a failing memory who would look favorable amongst the jury. And that's the reason why he is not in trial today. And according to Robert Hur, he committed crimes. No one can dispute it. And if there was any justice in all of this, that man would be dealing with a court case to this day.
Absolutely. And what I think, and I may be wrong, but if I were the Trump campaign, I would be playing that over and over. This man committed felonies but got away with it because of his age and his supposedly mental acuity.
Yep.
And I think listening to them, and I don't know why the Republicans don't do that, because I think that's something the American people have to be aware of. And I would be running ads to that.
You know what I would do, Ralph? What I would do is I would go back into the Wayback Machine and I would start pulling guys in like Dan Goldman, the representative from New York, Eric Swalwell, the representative of California. I would bring in that sister girl with the weave in her hair, what's her name, Jasmine Crockett. I would bring them into CNN and I would say, hey, let me ask you again. What's the reason why you don't want us to hear the audio tapes of the Biden interview with Robert Hur?
Because it's called transparency.
That's right.
And people do not want transparency. And another thing, they talk about democracy. This is the same party that would not allow a primary or people to run a primary against Joe Biden.
That's right.
They knock Kennedy out. This is the same party that tells you what kind of car you have to drive.
Mhm.
This is the same party that tells you what kind of stove you have to cook on. This is the same party that tells you how to set your temperature in your heat and on your air conditioning. And this is the same party that's responsible for these young women getting murdered because of their open border policies. This is the same party. And I just wish to God the American people wake up. I really do.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Ralph. I appreciate the call. And that's,
Great.
thank you, sir. Thank you. Very kind of you. Listen, the bottom line, and it's truthful. Remember, with everything that we heard a couple of weeks ago about why don't we release the transcript? You may have to hang up on Ralph in South Carolina. I can still hear his background. Sorry. Thank you. I would remember what all of that conversation was about a couple of weeks ago. Why not release the audio tape? Why not release the audio tape? Why can't we see the president's conversation with Robert Hur, his interview? Why can't we? They openly admitted that the transcript was edited, that it was altered because of as many times as he said words like and the, he couldn't get through the interview. They hid it from us. We know. And the worst part is that after the debate performance, no one's brought up that audio tape. We need to get back to that. Don't let up. Now we know why. Now we know we were lied to by members of Congress who fought long and hard to keep that out of the public purview. Remember, it was always about the deep fakes. It was about the AI altering what he says and what's in that video. Oh, now we know it's something far more sinister. That indeed, the President of the United States during that interview was dealing with some cognitive issues. And if I tell anybody, go back to the audio after the Hur report, where Joe Biden is supposed to be angry about the fact that Robert Hur brought up the death of Beau Biden, which turned out to be false. It was Joe Biden who brought it up. But think about what he says during that exchange, when he's at the podium giving that speech, that press conference. And he says, how dare they bring up Beau Biden? I wear this rosary. He had the rosary around his wrist. And he said, I've had this rosary ever since we had his funeral at the Lady of, and he forgets. Trying to make a point about his mental acuity and about his memory, couldn't remember Beau Biden's, where his funeral was. The guy he brings up at every event finds a way to inject Beau Biden. Couldn't remember him then. Couldn't remember what church it was. I think we should go back to asking about that audio tape. And if anything, see if we get Democrats on board to tell Merrick Garland to release it. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with my good friend, Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and to everyone. And if you're heading toward Hartford right now, overall, a pretty easy ride in and around the capital city right now. If you are on the southbound side of I-91, you're going to see some slow traffic as you move by exit 33 Jennings Road. South of downtown, you're doing very well from Hartford down in toward the Meriden exits. Northbound 91 looks okay. Cromwell through downtown up into Winter. Westbound 84 tapping the brakes both the bridge into the tunnel. 84 eastbound slows from 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291 through 84 moving well east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Quiet Waterbury 84 and 8. 84 eastbound Danbury slowing by 3. Again 84 eastbound some slow traffic getting by exit 9 in Newtown, and again 10 to 11 as you move 84 eastbound in Newtown. And if you're traveling into New Haven right now, southbound Parkway slowing by 60, 95 southbound delays 46 down to exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC.
I'll be right back.
Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunny to partly cloudy, hot and humid this afternoon, the high of 94. Then as we head through tonight, cloudy, warm and humid, the low only dropping down to 73. Another hot and humid day on tap for Tuesday as sunshine gives way to clouds. We'll have a thunderstorm in a couple of spots for the afternoon, the high of 93. Then for Tuesday night, a thunderstorm in spots during the evening, cloudy, warm and humid again, the low only down to 74. Wednesday, not as hot, but uncomfortably humid with a mix of clouds and sun. A thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon, the high of 87. Cloudy, warm, and humid with a couple of showers and thunderstorms from Tropical Rainstorm Barrel Wednesday night with the low of 72. Still uncomfortably humid Thursday with a mix of clouds and sun. Couple of afternoon showers and a heavy thunderstorm. Watch for some flash flooding, the high of 84. Then Friday, uncomfortably humid, still plenty of clouds. A thunderstorm in the afternoon, the high of 87. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
91 degrees, 5 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Heat advisory in effect, low around 70 tonight. More humid tomorrow with a high around 90. Governor Lamont has activated the state's extreme hot weather protocol through Wednesday afternoon. You can get cooling center info at 211. The state's top-paid government employee is getting a raise. The new contract for UConn coach Dan Hurley is 6 years, $50 million. Comes to about $8 million for the upcoming season. The contract reflects Hurley's interest in coaching in the NBA eventually, with lower buyouts to leave than in the last deal. So why did Hurley reject the Lakers' offer? Hartford current UConn beat writer Joe Arruda.
You know, what brought him back to UConn, a lot of it was the chance to go for a three-peat, and, you know, the timing just really didn't seem right. You know, it was late in the offseason. He had just convinced Alex Caravan, who's going to be the face of the program, face of the team this year. He just convinced him to come back and not go in the NBA draft where he could have been, you know, he had a guaranteed second round. He had money guaranteed in the second round that Hurley encouraged him to decline and bet on himself.
Joe reports assistant coaches Kamani Young, Tom Moore, and Luke Murray also have new deals. Hartford police say a Sunday shooting on Charter Oak Place was a case of domestic violence. A woman in her 20s is in critical condition. Under arrest is 37-year-old Chauncey Webb. He faces charges including assault in the first degree and criminal gun possession. He's being held on $500,000 bail. The hot weather, a big story nationwide. Records are falling. Las Vegas checked in at 120 yesterday. It's all-time high, and the trouble continues up and down the West Coast. CBS News meteorologist David Parkinson.
On the West Coast, it is all about the heat today. We are seeing heat from the Canadian border to the Mexican border, and when we're breaking records, we're not doing it by just a couple of degrees. In some spots, like in Portland tomorrow, you could break the old record by 9 degrees.
Wildfires in California.
Nearly 24 wildfires are now burning across the Golden State. The largest is the Lake Fire in Santa Barbara County, which has forced evacuations near Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch. CAL FIRE spokesperson Rick Carhart says crews are taking extra precautions during the heat wave.
They just have to make sure that they stay hydrated, that they're looking out for each other, and that they're catching any rest that they can.
Several firefighters have suffered heat-related injuries. As wildfire season ramps up, the state is conducting maximum enforcement of fire safety laws. Matt Bigler for CBS News, San Francisco.
More than 2 million power outages now in Texas, where Beryl made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane this morning. It's now a tropical storm. At least 2 people are dead. CBS's Janet Shamlian is there.
I'm just 20 miles southwest of downtown Houston. We're out of power. Hospitals, hotels are out of power right now. We know this is going to be a days-long event as this storm continues to wreak havoc with the region.
President Biden says again he's not leaving the race. He sent a letter to members of Congress to that effect. Larry Sabato of the University of Virginia's Center for Politics says Democrats should be prosecuting the case against Donald Trump.
All is not lost for Biden. All is not lost for the Democrats. But they certainly have lost a couple of weeks when they would have preferred to be doing other things, and they've caused dissension in a party that often has dissension, and it never helps them win.
Biden also called into MSNBC this morning to reaffirm the same thing. He's in. Russia on the attack in Ukraine, a children's hospital, one of the latest targets.
Rescuers searched for victims at a children's hospital hit by a Russian missile in a rare daytime aerial attack. Several other cities were also hit with as many as 40 Russian missiles. The attack came a day before NATO leaders gather in Washington for a 3-day summit, which will focus largely on Ukraine.
CBS's Cammie McCormick. Closing bell report brought to you by Bouvier Insurance. The Dow closed down 31 points. S&P was plus 6. The NASDAQ was up 51. Sports, Pittsburgh beat the Mets 8-2. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, low causes a host of problems. These include a low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. But many men just attribute these symptoms to aging and don't consider that there are medical treatments that can give them back their vigor and vibrancy. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're feeling like I just described, it's time for you to treat that low T and change your life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. We've successfully treated thousands of men for low T and have seen the amazing difference that those treatments can make in a man's life. If you're feeling like the vast majority of men who are low T, within just a few weeks, you'll feel your energy return. That brain fog will go away. Your sleep will improve, as will your workouts, and your sex drive will be significantly enhanced as well. So make an appointment and make a true life change. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We are back. Reese on the radio. News Talk 1080 WTIC. I got to talk a little bit about this because this story I knew was going to blow up in the way that it did. And if you listen to my Sunday show, which, by the way, airs here Sunday on WTIC, and whomever it is that's responsible for putting the show up in the archives for weeks, maybe a year now, the show wasn't, there were no archives for it, but now there are archives for it. So now if you go to Reese on the Radio, like if you actually go to the schedule on WTIC.com and go to the Sunday schedule and go to the Reese on the Radio rundown, you can actually get an archive of Sunday's show. So somebody's actually putting it up, and I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart, or as I used to say to the kids, the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like I belong. But if you listen to my Sunday show, I was talking about this, and I thought it was odd that this happened. And it is that news reporter, the radio host who did an interview with Joe Biden over the 4th of July weekend. And I wanted to play this because when I heard this by Corinne Jean-Pierre on July 3rd, I thought it was odd.
Biden taped 2 Black radio interviews that will air tomorrow morning. One is with Earl Ingram on Civic Media Network, which airs across Wisconsin, and one with Andrea Lawful Sanders on WURD's The Source in Philadelphia.
Yeah, so she announced that he was doing recorded interviews with Earl Ingram and a woman by the name of, I'm forgetting her name now, and all of a sudden this is escaping me. But some other woman on a Philadelphia station, I can't remember her name now. Sorry, Andrea Lawful Samuels did that interview. When we come back, I'll explain to you what has gone south in all of that when we return. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side 91, some slow traffic, 33 down to 30.
You can thank Roe for that.
Primal through downtown up into
Roe?
Windsor. Both sides of
Me.
in very good shape
which
now.
one?
Farmington
The
out into Vernon, 291, 384, okay, east of the river.
Which? I'm sorry. Why am I thanking you for what? For the Snoop Dogg reference?
For your archive of.
Oh,
shows.
you did that.
No, I didn't do it, but I'm the reason why it's getting done.
Really? Well, what happened? What changed?
I guess none of the producers before me were
46 down to
as
weather together on the 8th WTI.
Dedicated.
Diligent.
I don't want to talk bad about them, but
okay.
They weren't me. I'm a person that when I do a job, I do the job.
Okay.
After evening round
So
an air quality alert action day.
Tom hit me. It was like, hey,
May approach.
For some reason, I went to the archives and I noticed
We've also got a heat.
for like it's 2 years of stuff in there. It's like, did you do that? I said, yeah, I did it for you and Todd. You guys in my shows.
Be up to
And he just couldn't believe it. And that word trickled down. So now, they got to keep up with the other shows and do the same thing.
Right.
Day, some sunshine.
So you were archiving. We were talking about their regular shows weren't being archived then.
No, they weren't.
Oh, okay.
Could be approaching 100 degrees during.
Well, being sporadically, like twice a week, once a week.
Right.
They go look for shows and they can't find
Well,
them.
it was funny because someone at the WTIC Twitter page, right? We have like 3 of them. It was like Freedom Fighters and another were like WTIC page. Someone was trying to listen to my Sunday show, and for some reason they couldn't get it. And then I went and I said, well, that's weird, because it was actually at the time it was airing, and I went to go find it. It was playing. But then after the show, I was sending a text to someone last night, and I went to my page to send them a link to it, and all of a sudden I saw the archive there, and I went, oh, that's the Sunday show. It's archived. I was like, get out of here.
Dan owed an unbelievable
I was like, holy crap.
amount of money to the
Yeah, Joey probably went in there and started putting them in.
Oh, that's good. I'm
He
very
was
happy.
in denial.
And when I got those letters from
I was like, what's the point if people, want to hear it if they can't go find it?
Yeah.
The leading resolution firm, A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion.
What I'm not going to do is let them tell me I wasn't doing my job. I already got, you already know the saying, I work twice as hard and all that stuff.
That's right.
So you're not going to say I'm not doing my job.
It's funny because I tell my kids that all the time. I say, never create the atmosphere where somebody's going to tell you you're not doing your job. Because the only person responsible for that is you.
Call
Facts.
free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to
Especially when it's something you love to do anyway.
That's
it's
right.
like, you don't want to have to go back to doing some crap you hate.
That's right.
682-9928. 800-682-9928. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Prescriptions require an online
1 minute.
healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription.
I was here 2 months and Todd said, bro, you're already the best producer I've ever had.
Online at hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. With zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio. Filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It is your girl, Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, I listen to Reese on the radio.
That Coolio?
Hey.
Poor guy. Rest in peace, Coolio.
He made a lot of bread behind the scenes, though.
Yeah, I heard he did. So anyway, as I was saying before we got to the BPS Traffic Center, so Corinne Jean-Pierre comes out July 3rd. It's after the debate. All anyone could talk about is the debate. It's a debate performance of Joe Biden, President Joe Biden. And Corinne Jean-Pierre announces out of nowhere, because they're trying to get him back out there in the fold. They want him on the scene. They want him live. But every time they put him out there, he looks even worse. So now they've got to contain him. They got to make sure all of the interviews are taped. But remember, they're trying to convince the American people that this guy is live and direct. Good to go. Don't worry about it. He was just off that night. And she said this.
Biden taped 2 black radio interviews that will air tomorrow morning.
Taped 2 black radio interviews.
Biden taped 2 black radio interviews that will air tomorrow morning. One is with Earl Ingram on Civic Media Network.
We'll get into Earl Ingram in a second.
which airs across Wisconsin, and one with Andrea Lawful Sanders on WURD's The Source.
Yes. That's her name. Andrea Lawful Sanders. Did an interview with her. And so after their interview, they get, CNN does, their resident black daytime host on the weekend, Victor Blackwell. He does a program over there. I can't remember. First of all, that's the name of his show. So he gets both of them on the air to talk about, hey, I've watched both of your interviews. I know it was done because they feel like Biden's hemorrhaging black voters. Let me talk to you a little bit about your interview and what I discovered. Here's Victor Blackwell talking to those two hosts about their interviews, and he, investigatively, noticed something interesting about their interviews.
Andrea, let me ask you here about your interviews and something. I listened to both of them, and there's something that's similar here. You each were, you asked 4 questions, and maybe that's what you were allowed to ask by the campaign or the White House. But they were essentially the same questions, both interviews, about accomplishments, progress in your respective state, what's at stake in the election, what he has to say about his debate performance, and what he would say to voters who think their vote doesn't matter or might sit this election out. Were those questions given to you by the White House, or did you have, or the campaign, or did you have to submit questions ahead of this interview?
So Victor Blackwell, noticing both of these interviews pretty much sounded the same. He's doing them in 2 different regions. They only get 4 questions. What's this about? George Stephanopoulos did an interview to win about 20, 25 minutes. He got wide ranging of questions. In fact, it was quite hard hitting for George Stephanopoulos, pushing back on the president about his mental acuity and whether or not he should step out. I mean, I'll say George Stephanopoulos, for all it's worth, was kind of fair-minded in pushing back on the president and his claims that he's okay. But 4 questions by the black host? That seemed odd. So Andrea Lawful Sanders answers this way.
The questions were sent to me for approval. I approved of them.
Okay, so the White House sent the questions to you ahead of the interview?
Yes.
Okay.
I got several questions, 8 of them, and the 4 that were chosen were the ones that I approved.
Now, weirdly enough, she ended up choosing the same 4 that the other host, Earl Ingram, approved of as well. Nobody's believing that nonsense, but she went on.
Okay. And the reason I ask is not a criticism of either of you. It's just that if the White House is trying now to prove the vim, vigor, acuity of the president, I don't know how they do that by sending questions first before the interview so that the president knows what's coming.
That's right. So the president knows what's coming. Talk about disrespecting the black community. Well, WURD, what did they do when they found this out? They fired her. Peace, homie. Get up out of here. Time to go. Their statement pretty much reads that, we're not here. We're an independent radio station. We don't come here and do the bidding of this administration or any administration for that matter. This was against our policies. We don't have our questions fed to us, which again, in and of itself is disrespectful. No one else has said anything about it. I don't know whether or not the press briefing brought that up. It should. Corinne Jean-Pierre somebody should answer to the fact that they got this woman fired because they fed her questions. Donna Brazil, ring a bell. Something should have been done. And again, I'm outraged for a host of reasons. One, because of the fact that someone would have the audacity to forward these questions to a radio host. That's one. 2, that the host doesn't push back. How are you a radio host? Can you imagine? Now, one of my friends would say, you're going to tell me if Donald Trump said he was going to do an interview with you and they said they were going to come to you with the questions, you wouldn't take them? Do you know me? Do you know me? I feel like people do. You don't know me. Are you kidding me? I'm not even going to go there. There was going to be something rude said. Of course not. Of course not. But even asking me that ridiculous question suggests that you condone this kind of behavior. And the fact that that woman didn't stand up, and again, what she's talking about is like she cares about the integrity of her black community. She cares about them, and that's why she delivers the news. Her show's called The Source. She's out there telling them the truth. She's out there giving them the real deal. No, she's not. She got fired because she's a clown. Now, I don't know what happened to Earl Ingram, but he's been exposed as well. And you go to his Twitter page, you can find nothing about him. He hasn't even posted his interview with Joe Biden. It's nowhere. He's not celebrated because he's been exposed as well. The other part about this, and again, I don't know how anyone ignores this, but how about the audacity of the White House to take two, I guess, alleged prominent radio hosts and to feed them questions, to not have enough dignity, to not give them enough dignity, to just give them the interview and say, hey, we'll give you the interview. Give us some of the questions that you might be asking or the tone and tenor of your interview. The fact that no one caught on to that they would be announcing, like celebrating, oh, he's doing these two interviews with these two black hosts. And no one even bothered to say, whoa, 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 whoa. Some sort of shenanigan. And trust me, there is fallout. This is the reason why Joe Biden is losing black support. And it doesn't matter that it's only 20%. It doesn't matter that it's only 25%. It wouldn't even matter if it was 33%. No Democrat in the last 60 years has lost this much support in the African American community. Now, I'm not going to lie. There are a lot of people who are in that community that are denuts. And they're going to vote for him no matter what. They've got the Joy Reid syndrome, who are just going to vote. They sound just like this woman.
Y'all just tell me who the nominee is going to be. Let me know when you guys are finished fighting amongst yourselves who I got to vote for in November to keep Hitler out the White House. That's all I want to know. Who I got to vote for to keep Hitler out the White House. Y'all do your thing. Play in traffic all you want in front of these Republicans, acting a fool in front of these people instead of privately declaring your stuff. But don't text me no more because I'm not taking no more of these texts. Just let me know when you guys are finished figuring it out, Democrats, because I know y'all the freak out people. Go ahead and freak out, have your conversation, and then let me know who I got to vote for to keep Hitler out the White House. That's it. I'm done. Oh, and by the way, if it's Biden in a coma, I'm going to vote for Biden in a coma. I don't even really particularly like the guy. A lot of his policy, don't like him. He's not Donald Trump, right? Yeah. Hitler, White House. We keeping him out.
We know who they are. We know exactly who these people are. Denuts. Looking down their noses on the rest of us. We voting for Joe Biden no matter what. Joe Biden and dead on arrival. We still gonna vote for him. Joe Biden replace his brain with frozen yogurt. We still gonna vote for him. He's on life support. We gonna vote for him. These people are the intelligentsia. These are the ones who are trying to talk about. It's like one of these bozos sent me a text message yesterday saying to me, I love it the way you stand your ground, Reese. I said, stand my ground? What do you think I'm doing? Standing my ground. What do you think? You think I'm some odd man outstanding in my position while the rest of you're all morally superior? You're just completely self-righteous morons running around just like, we're on the right side of this. You're standing your ground in spite of it. No, dude, I don't need you to be on my side of this. I'm not trying to convince you. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, some of us need your stupidity. Do you understand that? Some of you are nothing more than a cautionary tale. You do get that, right? As Joe said earlier, anybody who would vote against Donald Trump at this point and vote for, even if you vote for Joe Biden, if you're voting for Joe Biden, you hate America. And trust me, we know that a lot of these people hate America. But you're the cautionary tale. While you're sitting up here blowing up your own, with this bravado, trying to convince the rest of us, well, I'm on the right side of this. I would never vote for Donald Trump. I'd vote for anyone else. I'd vote for a monkey before I vote for Donald Trump. You're the cautionary tale. You're the moron. The rest of us know it. The only person you're trying to convince here is yourself. The only person you're trying to convince here is yourself. We know how stupid you are. We use you as the template to tell the rest of the world, don't be like that moron. That's how that goes. I can take this call. Let's go to White Mike in Florida. Hello, White Mike.
Hey, man. Just got back from my first, kind of my first day at a new gig.
Okay.
Working all day instead of doing the DoorDash thing. So didn't get to hear you from 3 on, but dude, these people, like, who's it? Stephen King was the most recent one.
Yeah.
Who has now said, oh, it's time for Biden to go.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter what they say. If Hunter is gatekeeping Joe like they're saying,
yeah,
because he needs to keep Joe in office, nobody's going anywhere. And the only person who can get the money that they raised for the Biden-Harris campaign is Harris.
That's right.
They can't take the money, and the delegates are already locked in. These are Biden delegates.
Yep.
So he ain't going anywhere. They can talk all they want. He's not going anywhere. He doesn't want to be a private citizen because he's going to go to jail.
Yeah, you know, that's an interesting point of view. But listen, I've got a theory because you didn't get to hear me early on, right? I said there's only one thing left. I think they have to go the route of the sleepaway camp role. The Democrats have to throw a blanket party for Joe Biden.
You and I have talked about this before.
Yes.
There's footage on YouTube from the 70s of CIA agents showing Congress their heart attack gun.
Ooh, yes.
They have a gun that fired a little bitty pellet of a drug that would give someone a heart attack, and it was untraceable.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they had that in the 70s? What do they have now? They may just whack it.
I don't listen.
That's the way to do it.
I think you're right. Listen, in the sense of at this point, remember, it is the entire Democrat apparatus in general, right? Right now, their internal polling suggests that not only will Donald Trump get somewhere over 330 electoral college votes. That's what their internal polling data says. But it says down ballot that it is going to be worse than a shellacking because of this, you know, sort of inconsistency with support of Joe Biden, whether or not he's frail, whether or not he's effective, you know, all that good stuff, that Democrats in those states are hedging on whether or not they're going to vote for any one of those candidates. So they know there's going to be a bloodletting, as it were. So
how can anybody watch Congress and watch Democrats and not want to get rid of them? I mean,
exactly.
Unless you're an absolute moron. Yeah, there are some of these people who are so bad, and I'm going to name a few. Jasmine Crockett.
Yep, I talked about her earlier.
Cori Bush.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever the millennial bisexual from South Florida is, Maxwell Gray or something, Maxwell Frost.
Max Frost, that's right. He was the one who couldn't get an apartment in Washington because he had bad credit.
Yeah, exactly. They're terrible. And, you know, if you get a chance to watch, like on YouTube, forward breaking news that covers Congress, it's not a coincidence that most of the Democrats who get to speak are stupid.
Yeah. Let me get to the BPS traffic center with Mark Christopher. Thanks, White Mike.
Yeah, bye.
All right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Reese. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading toward Hartford right now, overall a good ride. Just seeing some delays on the eastbound side of 84 from exit 46 Sisson Avenue into the area of exit 48 Capitol Avenue. Westbound 84 tied up east Hartford approaching the Bulky Bridge of 47 Sigourney. Both sides of 91.
Wow.
91 northbound, just a little tap of the brakes by exit 22 and Cromwell after that. Good ride. Rocky Hill up into Winter on both sides of 91. 291 through 84, that looks good east of the river. If you are heading in toward Route 2 eastbound toward Glastonbury and Marlboro, no problems there. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Arconi Bridge. Waterbury's okay, 84 and 8, 84 eastbound.
Well, I
In
didn't say
Danbury,
anything the
slowing
first
3 to
segment
5
because I've
again,
been so
84 eastbound
conflicted all
tonight, 10 to
morning,
11
as
in
most of you
Newtown,
know.
84
You know,
eastbound slowing
I
again.
think it would be
by exit
naive,
15
and I think it
up
would be
to exit
dishonest for
16 in
us to
Southbury.
say
Southbound Parkway,
that
some
this
slow traffic 61 to
president that
69
we are
South
looking
New
at
Haven,
is the
slowing
same
from
person that we
48
looked at in
down to
2020.
exit 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC.
Sunny to partly cloudy, hot and humid this afternoon, the high of 94. Then as we head through tonight, cloudy, warm and humid, the low only dropping down to 73. Another hot and humid day on tap for Tuesday as sunshine gives way to clouds. We'll have a thunderstorm in a couple of spots for the afternoon, a high of 93. Then for Tuesday night, a thunderstorm in spots during the evening, cloudy, warm and humid again, the low only down to 74. Wednesday, not as hot, but uncomfortably humid with a mix of clouds and sun. A thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon, the high of 87. Cloudy, warm, and humid with a couple of showers and thunderstorms from Tropical Rainstorm Beryl Wednesday night with the low of 72. Still uncomfortably humid Thursday with a mix of clouds and sun. Couple of afternoon showers and a heavy thunderstorm. Watch for some flash flooding, the high of 84. Then Friday, uncomfortably humid, still plenty of clouds. A thunderstorm in the afternoon, the high of 87. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
WTIC news time is 5:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Heat advisory in effect along with the state's extreme hot weather protocol. Low around 70 tonight, more humid tomorrow with a high around 90, and currently 91 degrees in Hartford. Temperature records falling nationwide. 4 heat-related deaths now reported in the area of Portland, Oregon, where it will go up to about 100 today. Las Vegas checked in at a record 120 yesterday, and the extreme heat is being felt up and down the West Coast. It's all contributing to California wildfires.
Just outside Santa Barbara, the lake fire has more than quadrupled in size since Friday and has now charred more than 18,000 acres with little containment. It's one of at least 21 fires burning in California alone, and it's prompted evacuations, along with threatening homes near Michael Jackson's former home, Neverland Ranch.
CBS's Carter Evans. 2 million power outages in Texas, where Beryl made landfall as a Category 1 this morning. It's now a tropical storm. At least 2 people have died there.
Beryl lashed parts of southeast Texas with heavy rain and gusty winds, hours after making landfall as a Category 1 hurricane.
Please, Houstonians, anyone that can hear my voice, shelter in place. Shelter in place. We're in an emergency.
Emergency crews have been busy, making more than a dozen high water rescues.
CBS's Janet Shamlian. There are no immediate reports of widespread structural damage. President Biden says again he's not leaving the race. He sent a letter to members of Congress,
basically laying out why he is staying in the race. He said that he won the primaries, that almost no one even dared to run against him. And he said, quote, I have no doubt that I and we can beat Donald Trump. I wouldn't be running again if I didn't absolutely believe that I was the best person to beat Trump.
CBS's Nancy Cordes reporting. The AP reports Connecticut Congressman Jim Himes has privately said Biden should step aside. A spokesperson doesn't deny that, but says Himes has not made any public statements on the issue. The State Department of Public Health calling for more at-risk patients to get vaccinated against Mpox. 11 state residents
to go. We'll see how much longer it gets pushed back.
President Biden.
DPH Commissioner Manisha
People
Jutani says the
just listen to what he's saying. He's running. He's got the nomination. He won the primary. He's got the delegates. And that's the end of it. And either the party is going to get in line or commit suicide trying to undo his nomination because he's not going anywhere. And nobody, people, just listen to what he's saying. He's banned, and the president knows that. And he has said quite clearly, and I keep telling people this, just listen to what he's saying.
A big raise is expected for the UConn men's basketball.
And the
coach.
president knows that,
Dan Hurley,
and he has said
6 years,
quite
$50
clearly.
million comes to about $8 million for the upcoming season. The closing bell report brought to you by Bouvier Insurance. The Dow closed down 31 points. S&P was plus 6. The NASDAQ climbed 51. And in sports, the Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Mets 8-2. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker. WTIC 1080 News.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, honey, is the AC on?
No, why? What's wrong now?
I'm getting hot.
Are you having hot flashes?
Honey, are you kidding me? I'm only 35.
Oh boy, we better call the Bee. Don't be that guy. Call the Bee first and get your $89 preseason system check. Call the Bee will come and perform a thorough evaluation and make sure you are ready to keep your home nice and cool no matter how hot your wife is. You definitely want to get it checked out before your wife kicks you out. Call the Bee today. Callthebee.com. Callthebee.com. That's calltheletter.B.com.
Oh, minute.
You seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien High Efficiency Tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the
And 10.
If your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, nice. Nice. Plug one, plug two. Not bad, kid. I'm digging this. Reese on the Radio, as the big voice said, filling in for Todd Feinberg. When we come back, listen, I said it at the beginning of the show. You heard me say it. Who would be the person who's going to commit suicide pushing Joe Biden off the ticket? And again, this is one of those cases where I kind of feel like you have to blow up the party, figuratively, right, to get it all in order. Now, and I can go backwards a little bit here. When Donald Trump won in 2016, a poll was taken immediately after, with all the talk about how the Democrat Party needs to embrace something DEI-like, right? Who's going to be the next candidate? It can't be an old white man, they said. So they did polling and grabbed all of the prominent Democrats from the primaries, from the Democrat primaries. And the top three on the list were Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren. Old white folks. And I asked on my podcast, wait a minute. Hold up, Democrats. I thought you guys said that you had to bring someone. They didn't have anybody on the bench. They didn't. Who were they going to pull in? Joaquin Castro? Cory Booker? Have you seen Trenton or Newark or whatever? I think it's Trenton. I think he runs Trenton. Who are they going to run? Even if that's the case, who are they going to run now? Speaking of running, let's go to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. See what he's running out there. Hey, Mark.
I'm not running today, that's for sure. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, it looks real good, Reese. Coming into downtown, just seeing a little bit of a delay. Westbound 84 as you approach the Boca Bridge into the tunnel. Eastbound 84 is losing a little speed as you move toward the tunnel. Both sides of 91, easy ride. Cromwell up into Winter Locks, 291 through 84, okay. 2 eastbound, moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Middletown's okay, 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. 91 southbound, a little slow bikes at 17 for the Liver Cross Parkway. Waterbury downtown looks good, 84 and 8. If you're traveling 84 eastbound, in Southbury, look out for an accident between exit 15 and exit 16 on the eastbound side of I-84. You'll see a delay there. 84 eastbound in Danbury, you've got delays from 8 out to exit 11 in Newtown on the eastbound side of 84. Southbound Parkway delays 61 to 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound New Haven slows 48 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC. All right, we've got an air quality alert in effect for the day on Tuesday. That is from 11 in the morning until 11 in the evening. We've also got a heat advisory in effect for Tuesday. That remains in effect until 8 p.m. Heat index values could be as high as 99 degrees Tuesday afternoon. So it remains quite warm and humid overnight, uncomfortably so cloudy. The low down to 73 for Tuesday. Hot with some sun giving way to clouds. A thunderstorm in a couple of spots for the afternoon. Again, the high of 95 could feel upwards of 99 at times during the afternoon. Wednesday, still hot and humid with a mix of clouds and sun. A thunderstorm in spots. The high of 92. Now, Wednesday night, cloudy, warm, and humid. A couple of showers and thunderstorms moving through from the remnants of tropical rainstorm Beryl. The low overnight will be 75 Wednesday night. Then heading on into the day Thursday, hot and humid still. A couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm in the afternoon could lead to some flash flooding. The high of 91. Taking a look around, Danbury at 90, Bridgeport at 86 with a little bit of a sea breeze going on. 91 in Hartford right now. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jeffrey Bash, a spine surgeon here at Middlesex Health Center for Spine Surgery. Let one of our top spine specialists help you find the treatment that's right for you, so you can get back to doing what you love faster. Learn more at middlesexhealth.org/spine.
This is a public notice from ABB Inc. ABB will be continuing the ongoing environmental remediation at its 100 Groton Road and 2000 Day Hill Road property in Windsor, Connecticut. ABB is planning to perform a groundwater cleanup action. The remedial action plan and other relevant documents are retained at ABB's office, located at 45 Griffin Road South in Bloomfield, Connecticut, and can be made available for review upon request. Written comments on the proposed remedial action must be submitted within 45 days of this notice. For more information, contact Robin Stazak at ABB Inc. at 860-969-8935. That's Robin Stazak at 860-969-8935.
For eligible individuals.
1 minute.
It's very see website for details and important safety information.
Thanks, sir.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100...
See what you know about this.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/try. That's JABRA enhance.com/try. jabraenhance.com/try.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, you know I love this one. Balloon Mind State, Break of Dawn. One of my favorite tracks on that album is none other than Ego Trippin' Part 2. That's my favorite record. My favorite.
Ego Trippin'?
Ego Trippin'. That's my track right there. I love that. Love that song. I'll get to the phones in a second, but I want to reiterate, folks, because I've been here since last week. There's been no Reese on the Radio rundown at 8 p.m. on my show. And, of course, you can always catch it on the Odyssey app. So download the Odyssey app so you can get the Reese on the Radio rundown. And always check out the Sunday show. But we will be back tomorrow at our regular time. And, we'll be back on. Because I've been doing this. It's difficult to do this and then, not sound redundant on my own show. So this is kind of where everyone's been able to go. And you can go to resunradio.com and watch me live when I'm here to do that. So please go to resunradio.com. That's resunradio.com, or download the Odyssey app so you can get the Resun Radio Rundown. Again, your contribution to the program is your listening. So, when you listen to the show, of course, I get, a couple of pennies for you listening to the show because, of course, there's, ads and all that other good stuff that then go into sort of my account, and then that's how it is. We don't do a paid program or anything like that. Sorry, I've just pushed that stupid button. We don't have a paywall or anything like that. It's not a subscription-based thing. Humility aside, I just don't think that I don't think I have a show that is worth people paying cash for. Maybe that's not true, but that's for other people to determine. But at this point, this is a show that I do that I love to do. The Recent Radio Rundown, and it's enough that I can get here on WTIC and, of course, our sister station out in Buffalo, where I've been, and any other station that Odyssey would have me to fill in. Please consider me so that we can get those people listening to Recent Radio Rundown as well, because I appreciate it. So again, we'll be back tomorrow, back in the fold. So if you want to listen to the show, please do. And check it out and tell me what you think. You can always go to resunradio.com. You can friend us on Facebook or any of the other social media platforms, so you can get Resun Radio and you can communicate with me. Send me some messages, and as I say to the haters, I await the hate. Send me the hate mail. I'll kind of look for you even more so. You're my favorite most of all. Back to the phones we go. Let's go to Justin in Wallingford. Hello, Justin. You're on Resun Radio.
Hey, Reese.
Hey,
man.
man.
I'm always surprised that people are confused by the way Democrats act. Which is that I think the vast majority of them are honestly sociopaths. They sort of fake the way a human would act because they don't have real access to their emotions. And they're always trying to calculate and triangulate, if you remember that from the Clinton era,
right,
as to what will be good. They don't actually know, which is why they don't believe in truth or morals.
Because it's an anything goes sort of way of life, if you think about it, right?
Right, and then they look at principle, like conservatives like to talk about principles, but they look at principle as a vector for attack. Like as soon as they can find something hypocritical, well, there you go, and you're done.
Right.
And because somehow that's worse than if you believe in nothing. So that's why they end up usually in the nihilistic route.
Yeah. Wow, that's an interesting way to look at it, but you're right.
And to be critical of the GOP, they've been cowards. They
Agreed.
have not run candidates historically in cities since Nixon, which is about how long that they have been absolute cucks to the DNC. Because they've been telling them for years, oh, if you're a little less like Nixon, we'd like you more. Oh,
right.
If you're a little less racist, you'd be prettier. Why don't you come out with us to our cocktail parties at our orgies?
It's so funny because there's this great video, if you're interested in watching it, Justin. Ami Horowitz does this thing called Ami on the Street, and he's all over the place. Sometimes he's with PragerU, sometimes he's with all these other ones. But watch the one about compromise. Just look up Ami Horowitz, AMI is his first name. Ami Horowitz, and look up compromise. He's in New York City talking about, can you compromise with the opposition party in New York? And of course, everyone he talks to in New York is a liberal and talks about compromise. And as he then starts laying out some of the things, hey, can we compromise on this, that, and the third? And you listen to these people completely lose it and go, no, there's no compromise on that. And it's like, wait a minute, can we compromise or not? And one of the young ladies in the video says, well, maybe we can't. Maybe we just can't compromise. And they keep saying they wish to compromise, but what they're looking for isn't compromise. It's the wrong C word. Capitulation is what they're looking for.
Correct. They're looking for subservience.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly it. Because if you look at the way they talk, they're saying, like you want cheap illegal labor. They keep saying that. They keep saying they need an underclass the same way the slaveholders said they needed.
Exactly. Indentured servants. Exactly.
It's the same argument. And it's been the same people. They just pretend like they're not.
Yeah, such a good, but yeah, you nailed it. And again, I said, if you look at what you've seen lately from Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney, Mitt Romney, if you've seen these people, Michael Steele on MSNBC, Anna Navarro, these people have been talking about how much of a Republican they are when they sing the praises of Democrat leadership and party platforms and still sit there and call themselves Republicans. Well, I'm an old school Republican. I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah, because that's how they got their bread buttered.
Exactly.
Look,
exactly.
This ain't hard to figure out. It's the same way like the deep state, the whatever you want to call it, has sort of co-opted, both sides.
Oh, you know what?
They're the ones buttering the bread.
Listen to me.
If people would just read one book, and that's Enemies, A History of the FBI, they would understand that agency has always been a leverage operation. Always.
Yeah, it's right on the mark. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it. Let's go to Mike in Plainville. Hello, Mike. You're on Reese on the radio.
Hello.
Hello, Mike.
I had to get out of the air conditioner. It was too cold. So I'm out here in the 95 degrees. It's a beautiful day.
I'm much appreciated. Al Gore sends his love.
Al Gore. Oh, geez. Don't get me started. I'll try to contain myself. You got to get rid of that lead-in with the Kamala sound-alike.
I love that bit.
It irritates the hell out of me.
I don't blame you. I think it's done. It's designed to do exactly what it does.
Now, Justin was right. He says these people are a bunch of sociopaths. You got the press secretary. She's in bought, sold, resold, rebought in somebody's back pocket, along with all the other ones. I would have to defer to the Speaker of the House to be the next president because she's not qualified to work at the local Ding Dong ice cream shop. I'm telling you.
She'd be running the country in a Venn diagram. That's what she would be doing.
What irritates me more is these people act so holy and pious and innocent. You know what? They are sociopaths. There's something wrong with these people.
Yeah, you know what? And their reasoning is always going to be the most ridiculous claims ever. It's like Joy Reid with the whole, anything to stop Orange Hitler, so to speak. And it's like that after a while, that isn't going to. I asked the question here. What was it earlier in the week? I said, if the Democrats didn't have Donald Trump, who else would they be sort of ridiculing or trying to destroy? Who else would be a threat to democracy if they didn't have Donald Trump? And in my view, I think it's anybody.
I think things are starting to turn in our favor.
Well, they had to. Again, what I said here 2 years ago, a little more than 2 years ago when I joined WTIC, Democrats threw the kitchen sink at the American people. It was a little while. It was going to take some time, but soon it was going to be too much for the American people or average Americans to bear. People who are not political, who probably don't even like Republicans, see what's happening to them, and they're saying, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for this. This is not what they told me it was going to be. So
I've always been unaffiliated. I always went with my best choice. I mean, somebody that's honest and is going to carry out what they say, and that's probably my batting average stinks there because all of us have been hit with people like that say one thing and then a year or two later forget it. But you know what? I see things shifting in our favor, and I like to do a shout out to Chris Murphy. Chris, I'm still waiting for you. Why don't you swing by and visit me? I want to talk to you. I got a few things I want to say to you little choir boy.
Oh, thank you, Mike. I appreciate the call. Chris Murphy. Hey, you heard Mike. Come on by when you go on your little 4th of July pilgrimage again. Just come on by the house. Come and say hello so we can tell you to get out of our way. I appreciate you, Mike. So, again, where this goes, I don't know. But this week is going to be a quite impressive week. I think politically and newsworthy wise, because this week we're at the beginning of it and we're going to watch the dominoes as they fall. And Democrats are going to have to either in a full-throated way move on from Joe Biden or they're going to have to support him fully. But listen to Mike Penn, because I said this earlier in the show about suicide in the Democrat Party if they oppose him.
And I keep telling people this, just listen to what he's saying. He's running. He's got the nomination. He won the primary. He's got the delegates. And that's the end of it. And either the party is going to get in line or commit suicide trying to undo his nomination, because he's not going anywhere. And nobody's going to be taking the 25th Amendment, and nobody's taking him out of office. None of those things are happening. And so he's the nominee, and I think they're making that clear. And I don't think that anyone in the party has any power to change that.
That's former Clinton pollster Mike Penn. Says Mark Penn says nothing's happening. I don't know. Because remember, the party has got to throw their weight behind Joe Biden at this point. Are we going to watch the news media completely do a 180 and just say, okay, it's over, we're moving on, back to bashing Trump? Can they do that now? I don't think they can. The credibility of the news media at this point, trust me, no one's even paying attention to them, but they already know that they're at the edge. Their credibility is shot. They told every one of us that we didn't have any reason to fret. Washington Post said, cheap fakes. Joe Biden is not wandering off stage, shaking the hands of people who aren't there, talking about French leaders who have been dead since the 90s. Nope, nothing to say here. He's fine. That man's okay. I'm telling you, folks, let the blanket party commence. You gotta quit, Joe. You gotta quit. Save the party. I thought that he was actually going to give in. They were going to talk to him. Remember I said that about Thanksgiving? They were going to say, no, listen, man, you go out gracefully. Say you have to leave because of Hunter and your family and whole 9 yards. Hunter Biden is, whoo. Hunter Biden inside the White House walls. They're screaming about convicted felon running for president, but they've got a convicted felon, crackhead, leading meetings in the White House with senior staff. Oh, if you're looking at all of this and you're saying to yourself, what the hell is going on? Is this gone crazy? Is this gone nuts? This gone off the rails? Yeah. It's par for the course. You guys just joining us? You just get to the party? Where you been? We told you this administration was whack job 101. Everything they've done is failed, and then they doubled down on it. The adults never arrived in the room. Ever. Because these bozos didn't know what they were doing. They gave a bunch of children the reins. A bunch of ideological children who see America in their own little perfect view, their utopia that never came to pass. And now they're flailing. Because they put Grandpa in the chair and they thought they could control him. Now they can't. And it's a wrap now. It's a wrap. Hoisted by their own petard. Is that how it goes? Oh, it's just a mess. Don't forget to check out the Reese on the Radio Rundown weeknights at reaseontheradio.com and check it out on the Odyssey app. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow. Ooh, there's that jam. Ego tripping. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Do you know this one, Mark?
Yeah, good beat. Good beat, real good beat. Have a great night, Reese. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
tomorrow. If you're heading into Hartford, we're okay. 8491, Route 2, 291, 384, all moving very well. Quiet in Middletown.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. I will see you on Friday.
See you on Friday, dog. Enjoy your night.
You too, man.
For eastbound in Newtown, delays 10 to